Hello, hello.
Benny Blanco. What's up, man?
That's cute.
Were you just finishing a meditation or something? That was a deep breath you were having as you were coming in.
I'm getting up from my little nap too, so best of both worlds.
All right. So, hello, hello.
Good evening, sir. I'm so excited to be doing this once again, with my favorites.
Right? I'm pretty stoked too. Pretty stoked too.
Yes. Let me share
Yep,
this
yep, yep.
live.
Share it. Somebody's
How's
already
your?
talking to us. Hold on, people. We're getting situated.
Yes. I feel like this is going to be a jam-packed show.
Quite possibly.
It could be, yeah.
Hey, I just don't like to project or expect.
What expect? Yeah, that's true. No expectations over here.
But I
We've
am
learned that the
excited.
hard
So I
way.
guess to a degree, a certain level of expectations, if it's anticipation, maybe that's what it is. I enjoy anticipation.
Yeah, for sure. Let's go ahead and send these out. Once that is ready to go.
All right, you finish it up. I'll play this message quick. We'll see who's right off the freaking. It's Reesh. How come I can't play it? I'm learning. Here we go.
Yo, 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 big up, people. It's your boy Rishi's Reviews. What's going on, nitty gritty? What's going on, Vinny Blanco? How's things, people? Baggage check. I'm in here. What's going on, peeps?
Rishi. What's
Reesh.
so sir? I didn't get to see
Hmm?
the whole thing. I'm really glad. I'm happy for you. He has a YouTube channel, the Rishi Reviews, where he like travels to different places and like does reviews of them and stuff like that. If you haven't gotten this moment, you should definitely check it out. Maybe.
I know I should. I haven't yet. I've been meaning to, as a matter of fact, as crazy as that sounds. It's just been I've been so wrapped up in my own crap that, going in and checking out other people's content is hasn't been on my thing. I haven't been making content, so I'm pulling myself out of that place. So yeah, I'm gonna go check it out.
For sure, absolutely.
Mm.
You totally should. You totally should.
Right, right. I will. I will. All right, we got more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty easygoing, but I ain't gonna hold you. I was on a podcast last night that I was hosting, and a lady came on, and she was talking all nice. And then somebody came on. We gonna just say the guy name was Marcus. We just gonna say it just to protect the innocent. She came on and said, "Why is your name Marcus? I don't like the name Marcus. Marcus is a devil name." And I just figured that maybe the name Marcus was her trigger because she was way off loopy. I mean, she was really loopy, loopy, loopy. How y'all doing on this great, 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 great Monday? It's
Hey,
delicious.
Felicia.
Hope you're having a great day. And this is a great show.
Thank you, love. Yes, we are back for season 2.
What is up?
You guys, it's been a month out of commission for baggage check, but we are back up in this thing for season 2. I know the rollout could have been a lot more sickening. It was good, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I really have been struggling with being burnt out and having energy. So I've really kind of been in my little feelings a little bit. So
Mm,
I've
mm.
learned to how to find solace in my solidarity. And so I just kind of like revert to like just being in my own space. Like even yesterday my family went out for Easter and like went out to dinner and I stayed home and I slept and I just enjoyed some me time just because I need to recenter and refocus and recalibrate. So
Recharge.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That's been me the last couple weeks, actually. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I should really be reading my horoscopes, but yeah, I say that all the time. I really should be reading my horoscopes for my top 3 to get a little bit more insight. Um, not to say they're the Bible, but they definitely are great as far as like just giving you a little bit of like intuitive
Direction,
direction. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
a little insight into what's
yeah.
happening
Just a
in the
smidge.
unseen realms.
Just a smidge.
Just a smidge, just a
Just a smidge. Yeah, absolutely. But we love you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And we'll be getting this program started shortly.
Talking about
You know,
triggers.
we are. And we're actually going to unpack what that word means. I think that, we are
Mm.
in such a space right now where mental health and mental health awareness is so trendy. So I always want to put myself in a, and everybody thinks that they're a psychologist. I know that we've had this conversation on Clubhouse with a few people
Yes.
before, and
Are.
so I really want to make sure that we are opening up dialect and dialogue to kind of like really be able to give like more of like a textbook definition of what these
Mm.
words actually mean and what qualifies as a trigger, what doesn't qualify as a trigger, and also the problematic nature that comes with people who are appropriating um, terminology within the world of mental health, like triggers and narcissists and toxicity and all this other
100%. 100%.
that is important. So, like I did a show on roll call last week about toxic positivity, which people didn't know that was a real thing. And it
Toxic
went into
positivity? Oh, hell yeah, it
yeah,
is.
and we broke down some of the things and the terms that are connected to that, and I'll probably bring it back. That particular subject matter, I'll probably bring back, and we'll have a conversation on this show about that. But yeah,
Mm.
guys, pull up a seat. It's going to be a good little talk. You got us for the next few hours, and we're going to
Pour
start
myself my
unpacking.
coffee.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah. Welcome to Baggage Check, and thank you guys so much for hanging out with us for another season. I'm so excited. Let's keep rolling with some of these messages. Let's do Treasure
Here
What's
we
happening?
Sam.
What's
go.
happening? What's happening? The bishop's in here. What's happening with y'all?
What's happening? What's happening?
Up,
What's happening?
Keith.
It's really, that's fast.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I'm here for it. Shout out to Keith.
Hey, Vinny. Hey, Nitty Gritty. Hey, Vinny Blanco. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm glad you don't have like the super fan and only fans could hear your conversation. Are you planning to do that, Vinny Blanco, for the people that don't subscribe and make it a OnlyFans talk show?
It would be nice, but also, like, I do love the fact that I'm so accessible to you guys. So I don't know if I want to necessarily monetize baggage check. I think that the
Right.
whole point of doing this particular show is to be of service and to help and to educate, and to empower and
And
encourage.
to
And I think that
encourage people, yeah, to go and get therapy themselves, not like charge them before we send them somewhere.
yeah, I'm not a professional. I'm an advocate, and I
Right.
find a lot of times people conflate the two. I even hear people that I'm connected to on this app, outside of this app, they catch themselves saying, I know that you're a mental health expert or a mental health professional or a mental health, uh, representative. I'm like, no,
Right.
no, 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 no.
You're
Me
passionate
is
about it.
Vinny Blanco. Him is Vinny Blanco. Him is still very new to this journey to self love. Him will cuss a bitch out in 2 seconds.
How about
you know,
enthusiast? I'm a mental health enthusiast. I don't know. That's what I say about philosophy. I'm not a
I'm
philosopher. That would be ridiculous. I'm not a
as
philosopher, but
long,
I'm a philosophy enthusiast for sure.
as long as it's not exaggerated. I don't mind
Yeah.
being enthusiast for mental health as
Or
long as it's not an exaggerated
yeah,
enthusiast.
unrealistically inflated. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
one hundred
I
percent.
agree.
Yeah. So
Totally.
yeah. One thing I am trying not to do, which I always check myself and I check you guys well in retrospect, is I try not to be long. I'm trying not to be webbed or connected or tethered to imposter syndrome, which is another subject topic. another topic that we'll be talking about on this show.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
yeah, for sure. I want you guys to know all of these things and know these things for real. One thing I'm really grateful for is that on the show we have mental health professionals on the show, so you're not just getting like a little bit of Vinny Blanco's understanding because I worked at a mental health facility. You're also still people who are, trained and educated, who are currently working within the space right now. Mr. Nitty Gritty is a mental health coach. So, and he's honestly just like one of my favorites. We've done talks on here quite a few times. So I'm excited for you guys to kind of hear what he has to say. Make sure you guys are also
Aw, shucks.
just give him a big old follow. And I think that it's safe. Is it safe to say, Nitty, that Mondays
Hmm.
will be our
Yeah,
our night? So you got the green light for do Mondays?
I got the green light. I got a
Yeah.
steady day off. So yeah, we're I was gonna be like, we're in the money, but after we just talked about that, that's not at all what we're in. We're not in, it's not about money. Anyway, tangents.
you
But
you guys
yeah,
can definitely.
Mondays are solid.
Yeah, so you guys can expect my baggage check is going to be on different days, you guys. It's going to be at the beginning and the end of the work week. So we got episodes every Monday and Friday.
Yeah, and I got
I would,
Mondays, people.
yeah, and Nitty Gritty will always be on Mondays. So I'm excited for that. And I might do like a pop in episode on the weekends, like a advice column, whatever the case may be, depending on how I feel. But I'm trying not to burn myself out too much. So Mondays and Fridays are a good setup. I would have done Wednesdays in addition, but you guys already know that I did the mental health check-in on Clubhouse. And that's pretty much the same energy that I do on here. So we're gonna clear up these messages for a second, and then we'll continue with our programming. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, Biddy. Hey, Nitty Gritty. How y'all doing today? How you find people in this room doing today? Baggage check. What are your triggers? I don't really. My cat came to me and shit when I did that. Get the fuck off my leg. My triggers. I don't. I don't know. I'm gonna have
All
to think about that and come back.
right,
I always
take your
remove
time.
myself before anything can trigger me. Like I dip. Like I see like the red flag just coming up. The shit don't even go completely up. I see that bitch sailing on up half staff, and I'll be like, I'm out.
Yeah, but there is such a thing as called prematurely ejecting yourself out of situations.
Mm,
And we are going to also unpack that because I
yeah,
realize
it
that that was.
sounds safe,
But
but
it
safe's
is
not always a good place to be.
exactly. So we're definitely going to unpack some of that thing, some of that conversation. I'm excited, you guys. So make sure that you are all keeping in tune, keep it alive. Make sure you are sharing this live on your social media. Make sure you're clapping up on the bottom of the side of
Yes,
the screen.
please.
Make sure you are dropping messages. Baggage check is no longer just one dimensional. I know on this particular show back in the day it used to be just an interview format, and so you guys were just stuck with listening a lot of times. But this is interactive. It's more like a talk show format. So we want to hear from you guys. We want you to respond. We want you to give us your input. We want to get your ideas and your stories. We want to hear from all of you guys. This is interactive, so help us help you, and then also um, we'll help you help us. And I don't know if that make any sense, but yeah, let's
Yeah,
continue with
and then we'll all help each other, help you, help us, help them.
period.
Wait,
Right.
right off the rip, off the top of the dome. Definitely, I would say a trigger is somebody that doesn't tip. Somebody that doesn't
Yeah.
tip. Like, bro, sir, don't do that.
I can't. Not someone who doesn't tip. Yeah, she's
It's
serious about this.
definitely it's well no, it's also definitely a sign to a degree to someone's, but it doesn't always it's not always a sign to what you think, but it is a warning
Mm-mm.
sign to be sure.
Mm.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
could get into that later,
Benny, I'm
like
just
one of these
like you,
days.
baby. I'm just trying to tell you, honey. Just because I got a call don't mean that I won't show out. Honey, I'll beat a motherfucker ass like a natural born nigga in the street.
What? Who?
Uh oh. Uh oh. What is your trigger, Mr. Keith? Keith, you are so fucking fine. I told you this morning. I don't know if you heard that. I don't know if you heard the morning show. But you are everything. I'm still gagging. I'm sorry. I hope that I didn't make you feel awkward. But yeah, fine, fine. One fine specimen of a man. One
My
hundred percent.
goodness, it's
I'm
like a
sorry. I
mega
don't do
man.
that. I don't do that. But I'm single,
Yeah,
and
I'm
the
shocked.
world.
This is the first time I've ever heard you do that. I was like, ooh,
Yeah, that's how
this
you
must
know
be
it's real.
must
That's
be
how you
some
know it's real.
person.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. I'll
Mm.
send you. I'll send you a picture.
Okay.
Midtown Mental Health right here. Currently hold that position through Center Hope.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Midweek mental check
Appreciate
in.
that, Nitty Gritty and Vinny, and that's totally true. Ooh, I like that, Nitty Gritty and Vinny. Ooh, that's smooth off the tongue. But definitely, yes. That was my problem between the age of, I say, probably 15 to 21. I would just prematurely exit the situation. I didn't even give people chances. And I shut myself out at a lot of opportunities that way. And people started to perceive me as a not emotional person and as emotionally unavailable, you know. So it's being safe is being lonely.
Mm. That's real
Well,
shit.
there's I would want to be like yes and, but because being safe is being lonely to a degree, but living in your victim identity can also be safe in your victimhood, and it won't be lonely because tons of people will say, "Oh, poor you." So
Yeah.
it's more multifaceted than that, but I totally agree with what you said for sure.
There's a lot that I want to talk about in particular to that particular message. I think that there's a lot connected to that. Before we go any further, because I know
But
that you
her
guys are definitely.
profile says, "Can you even astral project, bro?" That's hilarious. Can you even
I
astral
love that.
project, bro?
I
So,
love that. But yeah. Let's just put a big mark in here for a second.
hmm
And I'll ask you, Mr. Nitty Gritty, since you are the professional in the room, what is more of a textbook definition of what a trigger actually is? And which context can people use that particular word? Because I think that there's an overusage of the word that's becoming a little, for lack of a better term, because I hate trendy words now. For lack of a better term, toxic.
yeah, obviously the word anything when it gets overused, it gets dispersed, and the meaning kind of gets lost. Um, I could pull up the definition of it, but I would say I'd rather paraphrase because it reading definitions for real.
Hmm.
But a trigger is something that is a habitual reaction to a thought. So, an
Mm,
emotional reaction to a thought that is so habitual, so deeply ingrained in your psyche that you no longer remember the thought. That thought happens so fast that it's almost imperceptible, and you go straight to the feeling. So when you
mm,
suddenly have a feeling about something, you're suddenly unhappy or angry or upset, but you don't have control of yourself. You just suddenly go on instinct and you blurt out or react or allow yourself to engage in something that if you had your senses right and your mind on straight, so to speak, you wouldn't be like you'd be like screw this.
yeah.
But triggers, they're connected to our deepest trauma
Hmm. Yeah.
because they're so deep that I've had many, I wouldn't say arguments, but very passionate discussions with clients that people who argue they're not having a thought before the emotion just shows up. And I can understand exactly how that seems the way it is because I've experienced it myself. It's so fast, it's so habitual that you just have a feeling and you're a victim to it in that moment. That's why it's a trigger because you can't control it. Someone else can pull your trigger. But if it's just something that makes you uncomfortable, something that annoys you, something you think is rude, it's not the same thing.
Yeah. I think that a lot of times, and thank you for that. I think a lot of times people often
Cheers.
use the word trigger as a means to not have self control. in
Yeah,
a
and
situation.
shame the person who might be saying something contrary to what they're saying.
Yeah, I see a lot of kind of shifting the blame and lack of accountability as far as like how people move within spaces, and then try to give it this blanket term, which is trigger, as a means to kind of deflect accountability and responsibility and the roles that people play in situations,
Hmm.
um, and just kind of like be able to exist and operate within the space of victimhood. And I think that that's where it becomes a lot, it becomes a toxic usage of the word, because it's not it's not being used in a means like, oh, wait a minute. Because what I think of triggers, I think that it's just like problem areas or sensitive areas that we need to work on as far as like
Hmm.
our approach and how we deal with it. But it's not meant to be like an overall stop sign. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I can't go here because this is a touchy subject for me. So I'm now going to live my life and edit every interaction that I have with everyone in my life moving forward away from this particular situation, because
Right.
it's for me and it's too much work that it's not work that I really want to be invested in, as far as like, getting myself together to make sure I can overcome this particular trigger.
Yeah, quite often, and I find it fascinating from just like a logical standpoint. Quite often, we want the world to adjust around our triggers. Don't upset me. Don't
Yeah.
offend me. Um, and so we use our triggers as reasons why other people shouldn't say things, as opposed to realizing that when you're triggered, that's something for you to work on.
Yeah.
That's something for me to work on when I'm triggered. That's not an opportunity for somebody else to adjust to fit your perspective of how the world should be. That's you needing to work on
Mhm.
you. Maybe you don't want to be around the person who triggers you. Maybe you simply don't get along, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
you're the one who's in control of how your trigger is going to be fixed. It's your trigger after all. Who else's responsibility is it to fix? So,
Absolutely.
but that could be very dicey when people, especially, I think you and I were talking the other day about how quickly we can move into victim blaming when people,
For sure.
if you start to say that, and it's like, this isn't about victim blaming. The people who do cruel and messed up things to you, they do. There's no, I'm not devaluing that at all, but you're the one who's
Right.
choosing to be around them for the most part. So there's always a little bit
Exactly.
of ownership. So that's my
No,
point.
100%. And I think that a lot of times that's people want so badly to avoid having to do that. You know what I mean? Because acknowledgement of the fact that you are the catalyst to things happening within your life is a concept that is hard for some people to have to deal with, and then also avoiding
Understandably
having
so, to a degree,
yeah,
understandably so, especially with so many parents like bubble raising their children with this like one mentality so that when they go off into the real world, and the world is so much more chaotic and crazy and beautiful and wonderful and terrifying than that little bubble that they had been safe and nurtured in, that they get really confused. So I don't, we're operating with some crappy software. We all need to update.
yeah, absolutely, for sure, 100%. And shout out to everybody in the room. I
Yeah.
see that you guys got hand claps going. We love you guys. We love that you guys are a part of this conversation. We definitely want to hear from you guys. I just wanted to kind of give you guys kind of like some footwork, some background work, as far as the topic is concerned. That way, you guys, if you have any opinions or any perspectives to donate to the conversation, you can definitely do that moving forward.
Yeah.
Um, I definitely want to get into some of these messages now and see what you guys are saying. Let's see what you guys are saying. Hey, Miss Annie is next.
Hey, Nitty. Hey, Vinny.
Hey.
Vinny, I fly under the radar and listen to your shows all the time, and it's great stuff because
Oh,
I'm speaking too softly. I listen to your shows all the time, and it's great stuff, and I really enjoy listening to you and
thank you,
what you
love.
ask other people, and yeah, it's good stuff. So when I first read "What are your triggers," my automatic reaction was, oh, being around other people and taking care of their feelings first and always.
Mm,
That was the first thing I thought. Yeah.
yeah, What's a trigger of mine that I'm really working hard on right now is
What's that?
when people overtalk me. Um, because I feel like I'm being silenced and being someone who kind of like had to deal with being bullied and being silenced within my own family dynamic as a kid.
Ah,
I can tend to be very defensive. And then when I'm very defensive, I'm one of those people like when I snap back harder than you original. Like I give you a lot, like 3 times the energy that you came to me as. And so
with
a lot of
with
people,
interest.
right, exactly. And so a lot of times people can say I'm over the top, but sometimes people can say, "Oh, wow, Vinny, you're doing way too much." And it's just like, no, like, because I am like, and it's not that I snap when people first offense. I'm long suffering. You know what I mean? Like, I'll let certain things slide. I'll bring some stuff to your attention. But if you are just like very like stagnant and stuck where you are as far as your actions and in your headspace, that's going to be problematic, especially if I'm expressing to you that wait a minute, like if it's something's a trigger for me, I'll let you know up front. Like somebody, I've dealt with this before. This is not cute, and you about to get a whole new different version of Vinny Blanco that you did not sign up for. I'm just letting y'all know right now. Like y'all might want to get this together. You might, because that's you have. I feel like that's your responsibility. As a person who's really reaching healing and reaching wholeness,
Hmm.
on their own. I think that it becomes your responsibility to have to tell people like, listen, sweetie, you don't know me like that.
If you
I know
can't
that it looks
leave,
real cute. Yeah, yeah.
I would
Yeah.
always say leave first.
Well, before it gets there.
Yeah, I mean, if it, you know what I mean, if it gets to that point and you're engaging with someone who is disrespecting the back and forth of the conversation or is dominating the conversation, is just up on a soapbox preaching or whatever it is that, you know what I mean, just,
I've, I've
I'm
definitely
out.
gotten better. I've definitely gotten better at leaving. I think that for me, it becomes because I care so much about people. I really try to give people like the
Yeah,
benefit of the doubt, and I really try to
fair enough.
give much time that I can, because it is in the moments where you're able to reach people that some of the most beautiful moments of communication and connection can happen.
Very
Um,
true.
and those have happened to me. And so, I'm kind of like a fiend for that energy, you know? So it's tricky. It's very, very tricky. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
you're
definitely,
dancing with danger.
yeah. Being dismissed and being and people over talking me. I think that is one of the like, and I'm just and then you start hearing me say shit like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" Now,
I like that.
my dialogue gets real different, real spicy, real aggressive. My whole tone gets very like, I'm very New York when I
Spicy.
get mad. And that's all thanks to all of the New Yorkers who I've had in my life experience who kind of have donated that energy. But yeah, it becomes a movie for sure. But I definitely want to hear from you guys. Let's play some of these messages and get through
Love
'em.
you, Benny. I swear I do. Oh my God, you were amazing. You give me life.
Oh, Keith, don't flirt with me, boy. I'm single, like a fuck. Let me play these messages.
Hi, Nitty. Hi, ex of Vinny Blanco.
Hey, babe.
I get triggered a lot. I think the number one trigger is somebody yelling at me. Like, even if it's like today I was trying on glasses and they're like, put it down here. And it's like, don't yell at me. And he's like, I'm not yelling. It's like, why do I think everybody's yelling at me? Remember Nitty Gritty? I thought you were yelling at me. Don't yell at me. But the thing I want to get out there about triggers, if anything, is that it's not on the other person to adjust themselves solely because you were triggered. You need to understand why you're triggered and adjust your intake of it, and not just the other person adjusting them as well. It's, meeting halfway in a way, but mostly the work is on the triggeree, not the triggerer. Uh, okay, thanks, guys.
Yes. Thank
That's
you,
real.
Emily.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean,
Do you want to?
even if you just want to think of it from like a math problem, like what's more likely a solvable problem? Fixing yourself or fixing the entire world around you to fit, you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
It's no contest which one is more likely within your grasp. You
That's
know,
real shit. And people don't want to hear that though. Like people really don't want to hear that.
I know. I mean, I
Like
don't even like to hear it when
you be
because I
so
mean, I'm not, I'm guilty too. I'm not even trying. It's not like a preaching moment. It's just sort of we're realizing like we're all, it's like, it's a daily journey to struggle through this stuff. It's not like you flip a switch and your triggers are just gone. Like you just have to learn or train. I like to think of it as training your mind and your emotional balance to a state where you get triggered and you come back to a balanced state much faster than you used to. Like get stronger at controlling yourself. And that's not easy. I'm not pretending like it is. Getting your body in shape when it hasn't been isn't easy either, but it's the same kind of thing. Like it's so worth it because you're still going to feel that trigger, but nobody else will ever necessarily know. It doesn't damage you. And you already have a strategy built about how to cope with like that type of person if you start to notice a red flag, whatever that type of thing is. But it's like you want to be in control of yourself. When you get triggered, someone else owns you. They're making you feel a way, in your opinion. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to do that. So you got to build it
yeah.
up. You got to train your emotional balance and mind up to a stronger place where you can cope with those triggers faster. That's more realistic. You know what I mean? Like
Um
than a
no,
magic
you definitely
pill or
you
whatever.
definitely have a pill. You definitely make an interesting and valid point. Um but I want to ask you this, like, do you think that society, the way that it's set up right now, is the reason why people are more so putting the emphasis and the focus on the triggerers rather than the people who are triggered themselves? Because I feel like, we live in this ultra censored type of reality now, where people are being triggered and then they're being shamed for triggering people rather than the people who are triggered being teaching themselves how to live within a world where triggers are real and have to overcome them.
Yeah, it's a complicated. I don't have a good answer to that, to be honest with you. It's just I think yes and no. Some people are working on it, and then there's also definitely a part of society that feeds into that keeps us divided through that sort of cultural triggering or triggering the mob, so to speak. Um,
Yeah.
and then all of our attention starts flying to that, and we start fighting with each other. So you know what I mean. There's all sorts of stuff going on, and I wish we could be a little bit more slow to react, because that's another thing about triggers that I really advocate. It's like the first step to starting to get a handle on your trigger is noticing when you're triggered and learning to take a step and think before you do anything.
Yeah.
Like literally just create the space after the trigger. That's your freaking first goal. Can you do that before your emotion and your instincts and your whatever you want to call it, your habits just fly you off into whatever action that normally happens when you're triggered? Can you pause? That's the first step. And I wish society would do that too. You're like, take
Yeah.
a breath, really look at it before we get upset,
Yeah.
you know? Um,
Absolutely.
but that's also me being idealistic, and again we all have to learn to balance our idealism with realism or we tend to be
True.
bummed out all the time.
True. Want to run through some of these messages, you guys? We definitely want to
Yes,
get
I'm
back into
sorry, they're coming
dialogue
in.
with you.
Hey people.
I'm sending you invites as we go, Nitty. So just accept them as you get them. I just sent you one now. That'll be
Gotcha.
coming up.
Okay.
Let's get this. There we go.
All aboard! Whoop, whoop. Stand clear of the closing doors, please. Boom, boom. The time is now 6:15 p.m. Freak Nasty Standard Time. It's yo, Captain and Conductor of the Food Train, FNG, aka Food Guard. Ladies, y'all know my name, and the Food Train has pulled into the station of Baggage Check. What are your triggers? With Nitty Gritty and EXO Vinny Blanco. Make sure that you share the show, clap up the show, follow YouTube Mexicos and everybody participating in the show, and then make sure that you drop a whole bunch of messages showing your co-host love. It's yo, Captain and Conductor of the Food Train, FNG, aka Food Guard. Ladies, y'all know my name. All aboard, stand clear of the closing doors, please. Boom, boom.
Wow, I'm
Lost in the
tired.
sauce.
Wow.
Lost in the sauce is quaking right now.
Uh-oh.
Ross in the sun is somewhere shaking in her boots because there is competition on the floor. There is competition on the floor.
Right?
Shout outs
That was
shout
impressive.
outs yeah, for sure. Shout outs to T FNG for that
Greg
wonderful introduction.
Nasty.
Let's get through more of these messages.
Have any of you ever heard of intentional peer support?
Digital peer support, is that what she said?
Yeah, I'm not, yeah, I didn't
Not
quite get it
familiar.
either. Yeah.
Not familiar. Come back and leave another message. Let us know what you're talking about.
Yes, toxic. We currently use the term here in Indiana. We use oh crap, hold on.
It's okay, baby. We'll be here for you.
Oh my God, nitty gritty. When you were just explaining the situation about triggers and how it's something that somebody can pull from you, I felt that. And I think a great example would be The Great Gatsby, when he was finally at the table with the other rich guy, and he was surrounded by all these affluent people, and he lost his temper. The other guy was able to trigger him to just pull that anger, that reaction from him, and everybody knew that he wasn't high sedidity due to that reaction. I love this talk, guys. I'm sitting here for the whole time, listening.
Thank you, love.
Thank you. Yes, and you're absolutely right. And in that scene, that was you're, you're bang on.
I
It's a
have not
very
seen
good
that movie
example.
one time. I have to really go and see The Great Gatsby.
Well, when the funniest thing about and I don't mean to like I don't mean to stay on topic, but it's like the funniest thing about learning about triggers is when you start to really understand them, especially when you start to own your own. When you watch movies and everything, they're all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
All over the place. They're everywhere. You see, it's people are manipulating people. It's holy mama. Like you're just
Right.
wow. So I'm not saying it's like a positive fascination, but it's like you start to see everything with new perspective, and it's I think it's more bad than good for sure. But any transitional or learning period has its like, it's rough stuff. You do the work. You got to sweat.
Absolutely. Yeah, got us sweat. Let's keep rolling with
Hmm.
these messages.
Let's do it.
Hi. How are you two doing? Vinny, Nitty Gritty. This is an amazing, amazing talk. I'm here to support and to enjoy your show and good content.
Thank you.
Nitty was mentioning something about how, I see enablers to those people that have like problems with triggers. Oh, no, no, no. You know what? Don't say that because that's going to trigger her. Oh, don't do that. That just triggered her. Don't do that. You know what? Again, we can't accommodate the person
Yeah.
that's being triggered. In
Right.
everything that we say or do,
Why are they
again,
the most important?
if somebody, for instance, me, if I know someone's a trigger, nothing, nothing positive comes out of their mouth, and it just puts me in a place of like almost rage. I will not be around that person to save myself, But does that mean that the person has to stop talking? Absolutely not, because that's not going to change. I can't control that person. I can only control myself.
Right. Choose
She
your
hit that on there.
friends wisely. Hire slow, fire fast.
Absolutely. For sure. Shout out to Pandulce. Thank you so much for showing us love. And thank you for
Yes.
tuning into season 2. You guys, one thing I'm really grateful and one thing I'm excited about season 2, and this is what I was talking about nitty gritty early on before we actually like started back in March, like when I told them I was taking a break, is the
Right.
fact that it's going to be so much it's going to be so much more beneficial to have it in this format with you guys because it's more of a dialogue. Like, you guys are involved, and shout out to everybody who shared their story in the interviews and stuff like that. But I would have
Yes. Thank
loved
you.
to be able to do the absolutely, because nitty gritty was one of my interviews in February.
Yeah. That
Um,
was that was quite a talk that was.
that was, yeah.
I'm
And
still
if you guys
feeling
have,
that. You know what I mean?
yeah, sure. I hope for the better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
God.
Yeah.
I always try to give people an opportunity to kind of be liberated within their own experience. And, I hope that I can only hope. I can't say that this is for sure, but I hope that Baggage Check has always been a platform for people to kind of be able to have the opportunity to reflect and realize just how much they've overcome, and
Mm,
how strong that they really are. I think that sometimes when you're so caught up in trying to survive and trying to, you know, become bigger and greater, you realize just how big you fail to realize just how big and great you are currently,
right.
based out of the things that you've gone through so far. And so I hope that everyone who has shared their story on Back Check during the first season really got an opportunity to be able to look at themselves in a different light and be able to celebrate everything that they've been through because they've survived it. You know,
Mm,
everyone here is here. They're living, they're breathing, they're eating. They're becoming better people, and they're using their story as a stepping stool, and they're not becoming victims to their own story. Um,
making
I'm really
margaritas with my lemons.
oh,
I mean, you can
margaritas
make
with
lemonade.
you.
I feel like margaritas, you know.
Oh, it's getting spicy up in here. All right. Let me play these
And
messages.
that's crazy because that's what I told a lot of boomers. Like, basically, being a millennial, boomers raised their kids like with wool, with their hands over their eyes, and then as soon as we turned 18, it was like surprise, and we're like, what is this? This is whoa, wow. I didn't expect this, you know. Great points, nitty gritty. Great points, Vinny. Love you guys. Awesome, awesome.
Thanks you
Thank
for
you, thank
being
you.
here, boo. We
Totally.
appreciate you.
Hello, lovely people. Hello, Nitty Gritty. Hello, Vinny
Hello.
Blanco. Sending you lots of love this fine evening, even though I'm freezing to death because yesterday I was laying out in the sun and then this morning it snowed. That's a
What?
trigger for me. I don't like it
What?
when it snows and I don't get to go out in the sun. But yeah, this is a really interesting conversation. Thank you so much for having it. For me, anything negative towards the LGBTQ plus community triggers me. I fly off the handle, especially if it's face to face. Like, I've had family members say things, especially when it comes to people using pronouns, which pronouns people like to use for their names. I personally think that anyone could be called anything if that's what they wish. But if anyone brings that up in a conversation as a negative, God help them. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, for sure. I'm sure that trigger is for a lot of people within the community. So thank you for
Mm,
sharing, Keith. I think that's a common trigger for a lot of people. I think that that's why we're so loud. And people think that we're such a we take so much more of the population than we actually do. But like when we think about it, like, and I'm only talking from people who are open and out. Um, but from the world's perspective, like we only make up 1 to 3% of the entire world's population. And like I said before, this is only attributed to confirmed people who are out living their lives in their truths. Because you have to also take into consideration that currently in 2021, it's still you can still be considered a criminal, just to be a gay
what?
person in
It,
72 different countries. Yeah, yeah,
wow.
yep. To this day, so
Isn't that
um,
ridiculous?
it is
I
ridiculous.
mean, utterly ridiculous.
Yep,
There'll never
72.
be a person to ever convince me of any validity to that as a reasonable or intelligent or even worthwhile conversation to like you can't even, it's the stupidest freaking thing to put energy into. Ugh.
Yeah, dumb,
But
dumb.
I'm not like dismissing it or anything. I mean, I acknowledge it exists. I hear you. It's
Yeah,
awful.
it does. But yeah, I can understand how anything negative, because we all come from, like, I feel like, especially within the community. I'm not going to spend too much time on this particular topic because
It's a
I
whole
think that there's
topic,
so much.
right?
Yeah, it's its own show, to be honest. It's its own
It is.
series, to be real.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, it's a lot that goes into being a gay person and what it takes to have to go through the queer experience, and we end up a lot of times going through more than the average person. And I told somebody the other day, like I think I had a conversation on roll call the week before last, one of these weeks, and I asked people if they thought that the gay agenda was an actual thing. Um, and this was before Little Nas X and the whole "Call Me by Your Name" music video and all of that came out, and I said, a lot of you guys, a lot of you cis straight men need to pay these gay people, that y'all have such an issue with. You need to pay us a lot more respect because a lot of y'all are not built to be able to handle the flack and the uncomfortability and the persecution and the opposition that comes with this gay experience. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
it,
you
it is
guys
a
are not
it is
built.
a it is a it is a I don't want, it's like an iron sharpening iron kind of equivalent. Like
Mhm.
it does make you stronger, but it is a
Because it has
trial.
to.
Like yeah, but I
And
mean it's no joke, right? Like that's, I mean, it's
yeah.
holy shit. It's, you know what I mean? Get ready for what you're, yeah. And it's not fair. That's the other thing that like everybody always, it's true. It's horribly unfair.
Hmm. Yeah.
You
I
know,
mean, I'm
but
grateful for
I
it, and I think a lot of us who are like healed people now, who go to therapy, who check our
mhm,
baggage at the door. I think that for all of us who get to that particular space, it's empowering because it's just a reminder of how much we are really how resilient we actually are when it comes down to it. But then again, like that also comes from a place of healing. And a lot of people aren't receiving healing from their experiences. A lot of people are victims and live life as victims of their experiences, or
sure.
just
But I will say
survivors.
this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I will say this: like your generation, and like it, thank goodness, because there's not a lot of good things said about these younger generations, so to speak, um, from my group, so to speak. There's always this kind of challenge stuff, but huge, have to give credit where credit is due. Your generation and the generations to follow don't carry the taboo of therapy as something that's wrong.
Right.
They've embraced it. You know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's, that everyone's super healthy. It's just they're working on it. So freaking kudos to you guys. Like, this whole idea that it's taboo or weird, or that having a therapist makes you weak or dysfunctional in some way. It's like, no, man, it's always good to have a really good quality relationship with someone who can be a sounding board, who has no bias in your personal life, someone you can trust to work your crap out. It's two minds working on one problem. That's what a good therapist should be.
Absolutely.
And you
Ab-
guys all are for it. And I just want to, I want to clap and commend all. It's like, way to freaking go. You're breaking the
That's because we
cycle.
see. That's honestly like, and I'm going to say this, and we'll move on to the messages. But I think it's honestly because we see just how damaged and broken our parents are from not
Mm,
receiving the help. I know for me personally,
sure.
I'm grateful every single freaking day that I'm granted the opportunity to seek mental health services because I've looked at my parents for so long and I'm just like, damn, like you had to live life like this and just had to survive. Like with all of this put in place, like you just had to learn how to make peace with all of these things and not and healing from these situations was not an option. And now you're in a position in your life now where you've compartmentalized it so much that
Right.
healing is not
Repressed,
even.
shoved it
Yeah,
somewhere, made it part
yeah,
of almost like your hardware. It's so
for
deep in you
sure.
that like you can't even think a way around it anymore. It's
you
it's
can't
sad.
even you can't even try to get your mind or your heart or your spirit to be open enough to want to receive any sort of intervention as far as how to deal or how to view or how to process these things that have happened to you. And so I'm
So
grateful
true.
every single freaking day. I'm so grateful every day. And I think that my parents, current day, feel that energy from me, and that's what's kind of changed our relationship for sure. Um, because I told them I was like, I cannot live my life and be you guys. I can't, and I mean that in the most respectful way. I cannot. I could never be you guys. Like that would eat me alive.
Right.
That would eat me up alive. It would eat me up alive. I just could not live life. to the fullest in that particular headspace. But we see you guys in the comment section. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
We'll
we're
get back
coming
to
for you.
you. Let us know what your triggers
But
are.
thank you,
Drop those
Vinny.
messages. Let us know. Absolutely.
I just want to add that it's hilarious that Nitty Gritty has a clown nose on, but like you're very eloquent and your choice of words is amazing. So it's hilarious because you're so well spoken. So it's like, hey, this guy is not a clown at all.
She gets it.
You get it exactly.
But you know what I've noticed? The word trigger is now trending. The way you described it, amazing, amazing. I was, went to go check it out too. And if we really, really dissect the word, wow, it's a very powerful word when when you use it correctly. Yes, it means something. But, oh yeah, that triggered me. Oh, this triggered me. Oh, that triggered me. If they really understand, if people understood more of what was behind that word, trigger. Think of a gun. And that's exactly what I look at it like. It's a gun. And nothing light comes out of a gun.
Yeah. That's real shit. That's
It's true.
real,
Unless
real
it's a
shit.
Nerf gun. But I'm just being a smartass now.
Shut up.
So I was so triggered that I can't even remember where my message would have left off. So I'm just going to say people, that take the piss out of people for their pronouns and things like that really triggers me. And people that, use any derogative term to describe anyone from the LGBTQ plus community, for me, is about to meet their maker. So yeah, that's where I stand with triggers. And
okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
That's a good
All
point.
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Not meet their maker. We don't want you killing people just because
I'm
they
going to
trigger
say,
you.
I don't know how to, I can't
I can't
encourage
condone.
violence, my
I
friend.
don't want you. I don't want you to think that we condone violence over here.
I would like you to, I would encourage you to strengthen yourself so those triggers don't bother you quite so much. But I do not diminish the fact that there is an astronomically toxic and unreasonable amount of hate aimed at stupidly and pointlessly in that direction. So I feel you. That's a tough one to handle. Super,
Absolutely.
super, super, super hard.
For sure. Let's keep it rolling with these messages.
Good afternoon. This is IMC for Life. And we're here with it's your boy. XO Vinny Blanco and Nitty Gritty. I literally fell asleep during baggage check and I just woke up not too long ago. Oops. Not baggage check. Roll call. See, I'm still waking up. I'm sorry. Hi, boys. I'm here. Mwah.
I love that you fell asleep during roll call and you bought a coffee during roll call. That's hilarious.
That's good.
The coffee proved to be ineffective. Sometimes it happens like that. I've had coffee and went straight to bed afterwards. So
Sure.
I totally get it. But shout out to EMC for Life. House of Blanco's very own. Let's keep it rolling with these messages.
But like fixing yourself when you are prone to or identify with perfectionism makes that a problem. And like fixing yourself or identifying with other, I don't know.
Well then, obviously the next step is to deal with you having the expectation of perfectionism, which if you look at it, obviously doesn't make sense because it's impossible. You're chasing an impossibility. So that's the first thing to work on, and then you can work on the other stuff there. And
is it impossible, or is it just an idea that it's different to everyone?
Well, no. The perfection is impossible to reach because you can always improve on things. Like evolution in life and centuries of existence have proven that. Regardless, like improvement and growth. I mean, it's not always growth in the ways that like certain people would want or like, but things grow, even like the weeds, that kind of like it's going to happen. So we have to, grow with it and try to prune the garden, so to speak, so that it grows as beautifully and as peacefully, so we can all peacefully coexist together within it, which means responsibility. You can't live, otherwise we live in a big giant wild jungle that grows nuts and we barely know how to find our way around and everyone's eating each other, sort of like happening right now.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like,
100%.
you know,
For
just
sure.
clean up
Yeah.
your little circle of the jungle, clean up your stuff. And if we all did that, that would be, in my opinion, the most realistic way we could heal almost all of our problems. Like, stop aiming all of your anger out and just be the best flipping you can be. And I agree that the landscape and the world we live in is a dangerously terrifying, crazy, crazy hard place.
Yeah.
But you're alive.
Yeah. You
You
still got
know,
breath in your body.
you can make
So
choices. So get in the game. You
get
know,
in the game.
like who you are, accept who you are, and freaking play.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling.
I like that word trigger. I remember I used to be the trigger, and I took a step back to examine myself. Like it's like an out of body experience almost, and realized, damn, you're a bitch. You know,
Mm,
from there, again, a lot of things changed. And I definitely am more mindful as to what comes out of my mouth or my thoughts. I stop to think
mm,
before I speak. Now, if anything I say now comes out of my mouth that I know that I've corrected, and that person just thinks that I'm a trigger, well, then at that point, it's not. I mean, that person needs to examine themselves and themselves, because I know that I've worked hard to adjust my character, not to conform to others, but to conform to me, to be happy with myself, to know that I'm not doing.
mm.
Yeah.
I think that that's to be commended when you
Hmm.
realize that you are the trigger for other people because of your negative energy, you know.
Sometimes you even have to accept that you could be the trigger for somebody without even having negative energy. That's a really hard one.
That's real.
Um,
That's real. Yeah.
like, say me as a, you know, 41-year-old guy, when I'm talking to younger people, if you happen to if they happen to have really deep-seated issues with their father, and I have a tone with them that resembles that, even if it's in no way having the same context, I get a reaction. That, like, that kind of thing can happen too, and you can't take that stuff personally either.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
that's really hard because you're like, what the fuck? Like, hey. Um, but yeah, a lot of people are walking around like open wounds,
Yeah.
and it's that's what makes it dangerous. It's not so much that people are predators, it's more like there's so many people in so much pain, and hurt people. So, like, that's why the world is dangerous. People are
Yeah.
confused and manipulated and lied to. If, you know,
Yeah.
gather
Absolutely.
your armor mentally when you go out. It doesn't mean you should be afraid, but, like, prepare. Don't go out just open and raw. Like, get your shit together.
Put together, guys. It is imperative. You know.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's keep it rolling.
Let me tell you guys a quick story about my cousin Alexandra. 60-second story. Well, I'll try to make it shorter. She's the only child of my aunt, and Alexandra was basically raised in a bubble. Her mother didn't let her interact with other people. She went to a private school, all girls school, couldn't have any friends over. Fast forward, about 15 years later, she has bipolar depression disorder. She can't go to the store by herself. She gets scared driving by herself, and her mother sheltered her to an extent where it damaged her, because, like you guys said, you can't make the world the trigger free world. You have to adjust yourself. And preach, guys, preach. And I'm sorry about the random kid in the background. Not my kid. Mine are tamed. Just jokes.
We love
No
that.
worries. No, we love it. Thank you.
Yeah. I went through that a little bit myself. My mom sheltered us from everything, and it became I had like a lot of stress and anxiety going into the
Right.
real world and trying to have my own life experiences because I was raised on America's Most Wanted in 2020 and Dateline and
Oh,
60 Minutes
jeez.
and The First 48 and American Greed, like all these shows that taught you that there's a killer,
Yeah.
a thief, a con artist, a hitman around every fucking corner, and you have to literally watch your back at every corner that you turn. And so it stopped me from having real life connections. It stopped me from enjoying myself in the moment. It stopped me from going places that were
Taking
harmless.
risks,
Yeah, it stopped me
you
from
know.
living. It stopped me from really being able to live and experience life at its fullest. Um, until I made myself conscious of the fact that that was a problem, and made the conscious decision to just go on a limb and see it. And it doesn't mean that it kept me. It doesn't mean that I didn't have bad experiences with people, but it does mean that I've had amazing experiences. And you just have to learn how to live a life where you take the good with the bad, and be appreciative for all of it, because it's all teaching you something. You know,
Right.
for
Very
sure.
well said.
Thank you. Um, let's cut down on more of these messages.
Okay,
For sure.
so what are my triggers? Fuck. So I have BPD, which is borderline personality disorder. And yes, I am in therapy for it. I've been in therapy for it for a couple years now. And a lot triggers me, unfortunately. But people who don't communicate, communication is so big to me. And if you can't communicate and you just flat out ignore me, that is a trigger. Just
Yeah.
leaving me on red,
Yeah.
or like I ask you a question and you don't respond, like that triggers me.
Mm-hmm.
What else triggers me? Lying triggers me out the fucking ass. I'm an empath. I know when you lie, so don't do it. And don't show up to my house at fucking. Oh, and suicidal threats. Those trigger me a lot, actually. And yeah, I have a lot that triggers me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Breakdown of communication. I felt that, girl. That resonated with me. That's
Yeah,
number one.
but ending it with suicide, I would say suicidal threats doesn't fall into a trigger. Like that's a genuine attempt. Like when your life is legitimately, that's not a trigger. That's just human, like, life preservation.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I guess technically it falls under it, but it's sort of, to me, it feels like more like an instinctual, like you want to stay alive. So you're human. That's not something you need to fix as a trigger, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's an opinion of a mental health coach, so it's appreciated, it's accepted, it's valued.
Mahalo.
Hmm. Come see, come saw. That's French. Nothing to do with Hawaiian. Let me just.
Brilliant.
Is this the clown show? Like, why is he wearing that red pom pom? Red.
That yes, sir. It is the clown show. No, absolutely not.
Mimi,
I'm not a clown.
no, at
Much.
all.
Sometimes.
Fortune gets the best of me, and I just become so horny. And you know what I do? I find the. Oh my god, it's happening.
Oh my gosh.
Trolls.
Yep.
Hey, Vinny. Hey,
Hi.
nitty gritty. I'm wondering if, um, uh, maybe offering a different perspective. Uh, Paying attention to one's feeling when one feels triggered, like if one feels a certain emotion or feeling, to their reaction for that particular trigger, and when they're feeling triggered, and then just trying to see if they can use I'm blanking on what it's called, but there's a certain emotional technique that one can use to help with moving from emotions to the feeling that one wants. If I remember it, I'll mention it later.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Celestial Failure, for being here this evening. Let's keep it rolling with these messages.
Yeah.
It's called emotional freedom technique. I'm sorry I couldn't remember what it was called earlier.
That's
My
okay.
apologies, Vinny and Nitty Gritty. Thank you for your awesome podcast.
Oh,
She's so sweet.
right. Yeah,
Did you want to
emotional.
respond?
Uh, no, I mean, I agree with her. It's another technique. There are many. When you're dealing with, I have found as a coach when you're helping people that there is no one size fits all plan on how to help bring you back to, the place you want to be, and then move you into a place where you're building and excited about being who you are. And, you're like on your own team, as I enjoy saying. But, it takes understanding that you're going to go through a process of a few times certain strategies don't work for certain people.
Yeah.
And you have to accept that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one technique. And I totally agree that it does work. It does work, for certain people. And the best thing I've found is for people to sort of, it's the same thing, like I said, as exercise. Some people like to go to the gym to be fit. Some people like to go hiking, or do something else, or, participate in a sport or something to be fit. They find ways to be fit. And the same way goes for mental health and emotional balance. We all have to find the one that fits us best. And that
Absolutely.
takes research into there's a bunch of different techniques. So I thank her for sharing, basically. And her name is really great, Celestial Fairy.
I love that. That's amazing. Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling.
XO, Vinny Blanco, 7 minutes and we're gonna get there. Hey, triggers. I was just talking about this. I hate when people say real talk, real talk, real talk, real talk. What were we doing before?
So true, right? What have we been doing?
Yeah, I know that some people lately have been expressing how the term safe space is a trigger for them as well.
Right.
That's like a clubhouse favorite. People are always expressing how much of a safe space they are in right now, and it really don't be nothing safe about it.
Right. Because safe
Yeah,
is a matter of trust, and you still don't absolutely know these other people. Often people will say, this is a safe space. This is the way of sort of projecting a rule of trust. This
right.
attempt to project a rule of trust. This is a safe space is their way of saying, everyone in this room better be trustworthy because I want to share something, or I want a space to share something. And you can do that, but it doesn't mean all those other people are trustworthy. So when they say, yeah, I agree, you know what I mean? You don't know people. Trust takes
Yeah,
time to build through
yeah,
experience and through action, seeing whether or not their actions match their words, whether or not they do what they say they're going to do. That takes time. You can't just like
yeah,
say this is a safe space and then expect it to be. You
for
can't.
sure.
It's not how it
Yeah,
works. It's not how
I
it
think I want
works.
to get into. I want to get into the space of saying this is a positive space rather than a
Yes.
safe. Especially when we're dealing with people online and we don't know them. From
Or constructive, even whatever it is, it
can't.
should be. Yeah, all those types of different adjectives that are moving in a positive direction. I agree.
Yeah, like positive or welcoming, but we should never. I think the over usage of the word safe space is becoming a little bit tiresome because a lot of
Agreed.
times these spaces do not be safe. It's nothing safe about it. And a lot of times you're getting advice and being consoled by people who are not, professionals or have any, you know, particular training. Everybody feels like Google has taught them how to be a therapist or a
Tell me
counselor
about it. I get told a
or a
lot about
psychiatrist.
how I should be a therapist. A therapist should
Yeah,
be this. Should they now?
yeah,
It's like interesting.
yeah,
Where'd you read that? I guess I should. Like it's amazing how often we project what we think things are. And I'm guilty of it too, of like other professions or other people. You know what I mean? Like I expect, and then later on you learn like, wow, what an ignorant idiot I was about that. But like that's life
yeah,
because you don't know everything.
absolutely.
you know, what you don't know vastly outweighs what you know, and
Exactly.
that's always going to be true. So it's at least that's the way I look at it.
100%. Let's get back to
Yeah,
this messages.
Intentional peer support. It's mutual professional relationships between peer relationships between a intentional peer support specialist and a peer or peers, where mental health recovery topics are discussed, and you know, just a healthy recovery
Sorry, I'm blanking. My friend used to work in it. I don't have. It's been a while since we've talked about it. Sorry.
It's okay,
Oh,
Kelly.
it's okay. Yeah, thank you though.
We appreciate you.
I don't think words trigger me specifically. I think it's more actions. Actions trigger me. I think with words used to trigger me a lot, but with therapy and such, I've gotten better with those. So I think mostly it's actions, but some words or comments can trigger me, like calling me something that I'm not. And brain fart. Sorry, guys. I'm still waking up.
You guys are
It
smoking weed when you're listening to our shows, huh? It's like an epidemic now. No, it's okay. It's perfectly fine. No judgment here, darling. You know I love you. Let's keep it rolling, you guys.
What are my triggers? Well, anti-vaxxers and their lies and manipulation and harassment. Those are my triggers.
That's an interesting one to say, I gotta say, and I'm not like diminishing it, but to say that like anti-vaxxers are a trigger. So like a group of people or the way they think, because it's good
I
to
think
be
it's more
very
so.
specific and understand, because like having people aren't a trigger. It's the way that their belief system that is the trigger. Wouldn't that be more correct? I mean,
Right.
maybe I'm splitting hairs here for semantics, but sometimes that's like the devil is in the details. When it learned, like you learn how to get a little control for these things. That's where you create those little bits of space that I talk about. It's really understanding what is it that really upsets you, because like I agree, there's tons of people who think ways that I disagree with, and I think that they are dangerous for the world 100%.
Yeah.
But would I say that their existence triggers me, or more it terrifies me?
Right.
So that's, I mean, like I said, semantics, but yeah.
Exactly. Let's keep it rolling.
Okay, well, after like a few years, I'm not gonna put down anybody that triggers them, but I'm just gonna say you need to take control of your life, and you need to let those triggers not give you strength with the creator or God or whoever you believe in. You need to give that strength to an understanding. You need to know, you need to ask for understanding and why these triggers are coming. You ask for understanding, God will give you no triggers and he'll get you out of that life quick. But you need to ask for help. And I give you my word, this is 100% true. So I'm a native guy, indigenous, and I'm from a native reserve up in Canada. And I used to live on the street in Toronto. And you wouldn't believe what I've been through. I was hit in the face with a hammer by a cop and took my left eye. And there's a lot more shit than that. But I'm just telling you, girl, anybody can do it. If I did it, I was the worst of the worst. So I believe in you.
Oh, thank you for your testimony. We appreciate you coming through and showing up.
Yeah, thank you
And
for sharing.
that positive. Let's keep rolling with these messages.
Okay.
Because we're pretty backed up, you guys. Be
Yeah.
patient, but we're going to kind of just rock out these messages with limited interaction until we get to a good
growing
space.
pains.
The ultimate mental health duo, Vinny Blanco and Nitty Gritty. What are my triggers? I don't know. I can be very patient, but then there's moments of impatience, and they're very rare. So I guess what is my trigger is being mad at the fact that at least it's rare if I get very angry, but it has to be something so meticulous or specific that it doesn't happen. But stay positive, everybody. And batteries not included.
Did I miss what you were trying to share? Did you get what you were trying to say? Because I think I missed it.
I think he was just like, he's just being twangy for fun there, more or less. Like, but yeah, I didn't quite get it if there was a depth to it that I was missing, but yeah, I thought he was just being clever.
Oh, okay. All right. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss it. Messages.
Here we go.
I think what Nitty Gritty says is correct. I think the taboo of therapy is being lifted and mental health is being discussed much more openly. Personally, for me, I don't really come from a environment that sort of talks about therapy. I don't know anybody that's ever been to therapy. I know that in the UK it's very, very different. We don't necessarily use it. I'm sure people do, and maybe just don't discuss it because it's a personal thing to them. Personally, for me, going to therapy, I think it would be hilarious, purely because that can of worms, even I don't really know what would come out in therapy. I really honestly don't. And yeah, I don't know if it would change me for the better or for the worst. It's a really good question. Maybe I'll try it one day. Oh my God.
That brings up that's brilliant too, but like that brings up a really good point. As much as I would say, and I think you would agree with me, Vinny, but correct me if I'm wrong afterwards, like as much as I'm an advocate and myself a mental health coach, like I agree that like if you need help, it's so important to find a therapist or a coach or somebody that you truly can trust to give you an unbiased opinion and help you work through your stuff. But that's not to say that the therapy profession and world is suddenly all good, and you know what I mean? It's still part of the world. It's still part of the jungle. There's still plenty of toxic therapists. There's good ones and there's bad ones, and there's ones on there's ones that just your personalities won't click. Like think of your therapist as a new kind of important relationship in your life. There's your romantic relationships, there's your family relationships, there's your friendships, and then there's your therapy relationship. It's a new addition that's just as important but different. And it takes a while to find the one that fits. If you find one that fits, you're going to be gold, and you're going to be, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Because it's literally like I said, it's having a second brain added to yours, working on your shit.
Absolutely. Very well put.
Oh, I agree with you, nitty gritty, but I believe that because I used to live on the street in Toronto. I own my own house now, turned my life right around. But I just wanted to say, like, triggers, you can really, you can have a process for dealing with them. Like, you can just, I'm not saying ignore them, but more when you're praying, you ask God for strength, or whoever you believe in, the creator, or well, you ask them for strength, or no, you don't ask them for strength. You ask them for understanding. Sorry, I'm just a little off here, but yeah, you ask him for understanding, and he won't trigger you like that. He won't give people in front of you in drugs, and he may give you a way out. And a lot of addicts get out of life like that by praying and asking for strength. He will test you. He will throw blow or whatever you're addicted to or triggers you. Well, he'll room with your life, right? But it may not be God. And I just want to say one more thing that people always ask when they lose a loved one, right? They always say, why would God do this to me? And I understand that because I lost a lot of love, you know what I mean? I'm not saying a lot of family members, but why would God do this to me? Why would he take my grandma? Why would he take my aunt? Why would he do this, right? But I just heard, and this really impacted me, that God didn't have God tried to help, but this is the devil's world. And if we think about it, it really is, gambling and all this shit that are breaking our commandments. And I don't know if you believe in that or whatever you believe in.
Ty, I gotta stop you, player. We talk about triggers. We not talk about religion, sweetie. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole that we can't quite climb ourselves out of.
Yeah, that's a big discussion. That's a big discussion.
That is a lot. Let's see what you say.
And I totally agree with you, Paulice. Like, think of a gun and that's a trigger, but we can't blame other people for our reactions because other people are going to, I'm not disagreeing with you, but I mean, other people are going to keep living their lives the way they are. And some people are never going to change, and they pick up that drink and they'll never put it down. So what we got to do is, you know what I mean? We got to maybe surround ourselves some different people, and sometimes they say that's not right, and trying to run away from your problems. But I'm saying you can't let those triggers get you because those triggers will always be around, especially with the world getting 26.5% have went up in overdoses, and I got a YouTube channel on it, right, and trying to help people. But people should start carrying around Narcan because I've lost friends that I don't hang out with is about 4 friends from the past in the last year. So it's a crazy life.
That is so true. It is a crazy life. Yeah, man. I'm really
Absolutely.
grateful for your contribution, man. Thank you.
For sure.
Yo, nitty gritty, you're so right, bro. Because you need to you're never perfected. There's always more to learn, and I've known that about being 4 years sobriety, right? Because like I'm never gonna know everything, and but I have a daughter now. She's beautiful. She's a year old. She's blue eyes, blonde hair. Me and my wife are still together, and you know what? Like it blessed me, and it's something that God gave me, and I know, like, if I could tell you guys my story, how I used to live on the streets in Toronto, and now I own my own house, right? And it's only been 4 years, and to turn this shit around in this fucking year, it's kind of incredible. But I just want to thank you guys for your show. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you for sharing. Yeah.
Yeah, super, super cool. Do more of these messages.
Interestingly, I used to be the trigger. And of course, for the trigger,
Oh, wait.
interestingly, I used to be the trigger. And of
What?
course, for the trigger, I didn't do anything wrong, whatever. I just said what I said. Well, no, I started seeing a lot of who was the common denominator in all these little disruptions within my family.
He told us that it was a repertoire of an old message, so I just I'm gonna keep running through these messages.
As I've gotten older, I realized that my main trigger throughout all my life, since middle school, high school, college, and my adulthood, post-motherhood, would be definitely seeing other people getting abused or other people getting bullied. I cannot stand to see it. And I've learned over the years not to get so involved, like especially in domestic situations where it's like boyfriend and girlfriend. Because at the end of the day, people are going to choose for themselves. So I've definitely learned to, step back in most situations. But to this day, that's still one of my triggers. I can't see someone else getting bashed and not defend them. I've never had that problem, but I've always defended people because I don't like to see that. We're all human at the end of the day, and we're all entitled to love. And, I think that's my trigger, I believe. What do you guys think about that?
I wouldn't disagree. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I don't know. Is that a trigger?
Maybe for her it is.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's
really sure.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's keep it
there's
rolling.
like there's more to unpack there, so to speak. Like that would be a fascinating sort of talk in itself, basically. So that, like, it's really
For sure.
interesting. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I also think it's funny. I got coffee with an ad shot and it put me to sleep. Yeah. Yep. But I'm awake now, so I'm here. Woo. Also, you know what triggers me? Me losing things all the time. I trigger myself by not remembering where I put my dang credit card so I can go get food.
Yeah.
Mm.
Totally get that. Totally get
Yeah,
that.
that's
Oh, nitty gritty, and Vinny Blanco, what you just said about people being triggered just by your presence. You can relate that to Usher's song "You Remind Me," where he basically doesn't want to date a girl just because her smile resembles a girl that broke his heart before. So, you remind me of a girl. That's crazy. You guys are dropping gems. Everyone, please clap it up and pick up these gems, please. S'il vous plaît.
Oh,
S'il vous
s'il vous
plaît.
plaît.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Danke.
That's real. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying danke, like thank you. We're doing different languages.
Never heard that.
Dankeschön, darling, Dankeschön. You ever heard that song? Thank you for. It's an American song, but anyway.
No. Never
Moving
heard
on.
that song. Mm-hmm.
I was also very sheltered growing up because of certain circumstances. And then I feel like My family wanted to protect me from the outside world, and honestly, all it ever did was hurt me more.
Yep, absolutely. Because you're not built to be able to handle situations or know what to do in certain scenarios.
Right.
You know,
Quite often,
like
parents fall into the trap of thinking that their job is to keep their child safe and healthy. But then what they fail to realize is that's only part of their job. The primary purpose of
yeah,
being a parent is to strengthen and teach and educate and and train that child up to a place where when it goes out and it hits maturity, it's strong enough, smart enough, and health and balanced enough to attempt to navigate the world without them. Like letting the
yeah,
bird go fly free from the nest, metaphorically speaking. You know what I mean? If you
yeah.
don't teach your kid
Mhm.
how to be strong and smart within and without, when you send them out, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter that you kept them safe because you didn't teach them how to keep themselves safe,
Right.
and strong and and that's I'm a huge advocate for sharing that with as many parents as I can. It's like your job is to teach them to be strong, not just
Absolutely.
safe. Keep
Absolutely.
that in mind, which means you have to let them test themselves and you have to let them be challenged and you have to let them take risks. You have to let danger enter their world, or they're never going to have any experience with it until they reach the real world, which is, again, obviously ridiculous as a strategy. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Experience is experience, 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 So I'm done.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mr. Nitty Gritty.
No, thank
Uh,
you. We got so many messages.
we do. I love it. I love it. This is the
I
first.
know. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
I knew it was going to come back. I knew we were going to come back and hit the ground running. I know that there's been a lot of shows that are very similar in nature and even in title and even in subject matter when it comes to this whole mental health
Oh
talk
yeah.
show shit. But the original has been always baggage check. I want to say that with my chest, number one. And number two, what sets this show particularly apart from the rest is that you're not only getting my feedback and my opinion, but you're also getting input from professionals. So definitely take opportunity. Listen. It's kind of like free therapy in a way. I consider this like a
Mhm.
form of group therapy in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So definitely take opportunity, guys. Write down these gems. Pass this information to people that might need it. Because that's what we do this for. I definitely do this for fun. I do this because I love it, but I also do this because I genuinely have a heart for people and I want to help them. So definitely make sure that you are keeping this live all over the place. Share it with all of your friends. Tell them about Stereo. Let them download the app and get into the gig because that's what we did this for. We're gonna keep rolling through these messages, you guys. Thank you so much for listening in this evening and letting us know what your triggers are. Keep dropping those messages. Keep clapping up on the bottom left side of the screen, and make sure that you are sharing this live all over your social media. And make sure you are following my good friend, Mr. Nitty Gritty. That way you can keep it tuned and keep it locked to any programs he has coming up for sure.
Mm.
And make sure that you are following me if you're a first time listener. That way you can always get a notification every time we go live for this particular show. We're gonna keep running through these messages and see what you guys are saying out here in the stereo street.
Sorry, I should have clarified. It's where people use it as a, not as a cry for help, but as a abuse tactic. So gaslighting.
Correct.
Mm.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Gaslighting is
gaslighting is a
another
big trip.
epidemic. That's going to be another
That's
freaking
a
talk, like for us,
that's
easily.
on the list of topics
It's
that I
got
have to visit.
because that's
Yeah,
some
imposter
deep level
syndrome,
stuff going on with that these days.
gaslighting. Yeah, we are going to be unpacking all this shit, so that we can really give y'all the real deal as far as these concepts are concerned. Because a lot of people are using these terminologies and don't even really know what they mean. And so, when it comes to this
Absolutely.
mental health shit, like I want to make sure that you guys are informed moving forward. That way, if you do, have an encounter with someone where you feel like they're gaslighting, you know for a fact, and it's not you just trying to equate what's going on with you. and trying to conflate that with what some information that some around the way Joe gave you with no degree and really no real, understanding or grasp of what that concept means in itself. We are not going to be perpetuating imposter syndrome on baggage check. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. We are not perpetuating imposter syndrome. It's enough people out here doing that for us. We are not perpetuating that shit. It's
No.
dead. It is dead.
Agreed.
But yeah, shout out to all of you guys in the room. Let's keep it rolling with these messages. Ooh, here we go. Ooh, wait a minute. Sorry.
Wait a minute.
Nitty gritty. Yeah.
What's up,
Segment is
Trigger
Blanco.
Mike?
I'm here for baggage check.
Yitty.
I ain't seen this in a minute, but yo, shout outs to Vinny, shout out to you, Nitty Gritty. Yo, it's your boy Chef Mike, whipping it up in these kitchens, young on in these stereo streets, man, making sure everybody out here eat what it do. Coming
What's
through
good?
showing Vinny Blanco some love, man. What's good, Brody? Everything good with you?
Everything is great. Thank you so much for tuning in to the world premiere of the second season of Baggage Check. We got a lot of new things coming for you guys. And it's going to be fun this time around. I'm really excited about these conversations. I think that they're super, super needed. And these are a lot overdue for sure. So I definitely think it's time for someone to come to the forefront and be able to curate these conversations and this dialogue. And you guys have devoted me twice in a row, 2 months in a row, best mental health advocate on stereo. So I thought that it
Yes,
would be
congratulations.
thank
Congratulations on that.
you.
Yes. Yes,
So I
bravo,
think that
sir.
it's important that I get back to basics and really talk about the things that are near and dear to my heart and make sure that you got your opportunity to grow and to learn and reflect and to heal is given. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're gonna get through more of these messages and see what you guys are coming from. Make sure you'll drop those messages. Let us know what you guys think about the subject title. Let us know what some of your triggers are. Let us know, some of the weirdest triggers you've ever heard. We want to hear from all of these things. And what are some healthy ways that you guys deal with your triggers?
Mm-hmm.
I want to really get into that conversation as well. Are you running?
Strategies.
Are you prematurely ejecting from situations to avoid having to deal? Because I know that sounds funny because you think of premature ejaculation, but
Well, you
that's the
did.
first thing. That's what I heard in my head before. Like that was when that's what I heard in my head when I said it out loud. But
And
but yeah, I
every
want to
girl
know.
listening was like, ugh, men.
Right, seriously. And even some dudes out here. Listen, it's a mixed
Probably,
crowd.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm not trying to generalize.
It's,
It just,
it's a it's always a mixed crowd. I'm an equal opportunity employer.
the comedy
Um,
skit in my mind, I casted it
exactly.
my way. But yeah, no hate.
No, we love it. We love it. We know that you are an ally in the nitty gritty, so we would never question
You damn
you.
Skippy. Damn Skippy.
But I definitely want to hear you guys. I want to hear how you guys deal with your triggers. And if you don't necessarily know how the healthiest way to deal with your triggers, now that you've identified them, ask for advice. That's what we are here
Yeah,
for.
let's talk about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go there. Shout out to everybody in the room. Let's keep it rolling.
Sorry. I hit the wrong button. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Why
you're
is she
fine.
breathing so heavy? Are you okay?
I have no idea.
Hey yo, what up, XO Blanco? Man, doing a
What's up,
baggage
Wayne?
check with Nitty Gritty. Seems like it's installment number
Worm.
2. I'm here, guys. I hope you guys are ready to unpack. I love each and every fucking one of you. There's only 2 of you. Okay, I love both of you. What's up, guys? And my boy, we're doing a show tomorrow morning. Good stuff. Appreciate you guys.
Hey, Worm.
You doing a show with him tomorrow morning?
Yeah, he's going to be my co-host on Roll Call.
Ooh, fun.
That's going to be fun. Yeah, Worm is always good energy. I love his high energy. So I'm excited to see what he gives us this tomorrow morning. So you guys make sure you guys keep it locked to Roll Call at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Worm's going to be my co-host. Yeah, I'm excited. House of Blanco's very own for sure. Let's keep rolling with these messages.
Hey, Blanco, just coming through, showing some love, my love. Hi, Nitty. What up, though?
What's up, Lady B, darling? What's good with
Hey.
you? Shout outs. Everybody's in good. I felt the positive energy. I love it, you guys. Keep it
Yes,
going.
thank you so much. This is a
Hmm.
wonderful beginning.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
When I teach with music, I often teach the fake it till you make it philosophy. I think there's a lot to it. Same as dress for the job you want. Just embody it, and in that trial, you'll find what works for you and what doesn't. However, that doesn't mean to be totally disingenuous. I think inauthenticity is the trigger for me. And unfortunately, in the arts we live in, or at least in music, the whole thing is inauthentic. So I've dealt with that by
Word.
removing myself from society and living in a cave. Um, I'm just tired of my toenails being so goddamn long.
What? What?
It's like what a journey that was. Like I was like, oh, that's really okay. Thank you for the toenails. Yeah, I love it. You brought
He's
us into a
hilarious.
deep place and then back to a happy place. What a journey in one comment.
He's hilarious. Y'all, he's a new member to the House of Blanco, so
Okay.
yeah, you can always expect a message off the wall from Mr. Offstage Chagrin. But shout out to Jordan.
Chagrin.
Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate
Yeah.
you. And authenticity, I believe, is definitely definitely a trigger for me as well. Um, I think lying is a trigger for me as well.
Mm,
Um, and like I said, breakdown of communication. Like if you're the type of person who just has a tendency to just drop out of the sky for a couple days at a time, like that's already like huge red flag for me. I'm just like, oh child, I just got finished dealing with somebody because they just continue to just drop out of drop out of the sky, and then when they come back into the picture, they just pick up like nothing ever happened. I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. Mm-mm. You can continue to do whatever you was doing with whoever you was doing and with, because clearly I wasn't important enough for you to check in with me and just let me know, like, oh hey, by the way, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. You may not hear from me, but I wanted you to know that I was good. I need some space. I need some time. I'm just enjoying my time to myself, whatever the case may be. Like that's just a quick answer. Like doesn't take that much effort, you know. Also, people who give excuses consistently is a huge motherfucking trigger for me.
yeah. Why are you explaining yourself?
Cause you trying to hide something.
Like who you trying to convince? That's a very
Yourself.
common. Yeah, it goes through my brain often when people are repeating their own advocacy. You know what I mean? When they feel the need to repeat their story 4 or 5 times, explaining themselves. It's like you desperately want to explain yourself. What's the deal? You
Yeah.
know?
Something about this whole situation ain't right.
Yeah. Well, it
Uh
doesn't necessarily mean that they're toxic. Like I know people who are being abused and are being gaslighted like crazy can be desperate for validation of their reality, but you know, there's differences. So it's like you just don't know. It's like what's going on. You have to sort of, like I said before, hire slow and fire fast. So like when you meet someone like that and they're in that zone, it's like you definitely have to take a step back and be like, okay, what's the deal with this person? You
absolutely.
know, because freaking A, like that's paying attention. Pay attention. Pay
Please pay
attention.
attention. It's so important that you
You know.
do. For sure.
Hmm.
Let's keep rolling with some of these messages and see that you guys are in the building.
Like, that's exactly why I be loving when Shadow be having her talks and shit, because she be like so transparent, like letting people know what the fuck is up. So, like they feel comfortable and shit. But like, what are my triggers? Like, the world. Like, I'm playing by Hi Vinny Blanco. Hi Nitty Gritty. What's
Hey,
skitty? Vixie in his
Steve.
house. You know how I do. Like, I just be sitting in the back. I'm about to smoke a blunt. I love listening to Mr. Vinny Blanco. Like, so many gems I be getting from these talks and Nitty Gritty. Like, it's been a sec, but like, I'm back. I'm hearing you. So nice and lovely to meet you. I hope you guys are having a bright and productive podcast and all that jazz. Vixie into his house.
Thank you, Vixie girl,
Vixie,
for
what
the
was it?
love.
Fox Supernova? Vixie Supernova? What a
Yeah, Vixie
name.
Supernova. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. Love it. Love it, girl. Keep it going. Let's get into these
Something that's triggering for me is with like coworkers and friends, the topic of mental illness comes up a lot and past trauma. And I've been told I have a very calm and like peaceful demeanor, and people tend to trust me a lot right away. Sorry, I didn't realize if this was recording or not.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, it was recording.
Yeah, it was definitely recording.
Well, it's the lies and misinformation that they spread that triggers me. I mean, it doesn't make me crazy, but it frustrates me. It really frustrates me every time I hear lies and misinformation about the virus or the vaccine. It is really frustrating. And it seems like their voice is getting louder and louder on this app, while mine, who are based on fact and science, is getting quieter and quieter.
Yeah, it can feel that way sometimes. It really can. Because sometimes hate feels like it's louder, but it's like that's because when you're going the other route and you're being reasonable, somebody has to take the time to let things quiet down to hear the reasonable people talking because they're not usually shouting. So it's like
Right.
it's a long changeable process, and it's like waves on a beach. Like it sucks and it makes you frustrated, and I totally understand that, but like don't stop. Don't stop, speaking rationally. That voice needs to be out there too. As many rational voices, like Vinny and everybody, like, speak up, but speak out politely with this idea of like, let's all have a conversation instead of let's all yell at each other. And the more we do that, the more societally taboo it will become to be irrational in a group like that. Everyone will be like, seriously, calm down. We know that doesn't work. We've tried it a bunch of times. Chill out,
Yeah.
Hopefully. But that's a long process of change.
Absolutely. Let's get them back to these messages.
Messages.
Hey, Vinny Blanco. Hey, Nitty Gritty. Shadow in his house. Just chilling. Smoking a bleezy in the back with Vixie, but you heard her. Yeah, Trigger, definitely the world. But I'm slowly but surely working on coping mechanisms. We talked about it last month. All types of different triggers and how we can overcome them. Half of it is just realizing what the actual issue is versus like letting your emotions drive or dictate how the situation ends. Like take the emotions out of it, and half the time you won't have to worry about repeating the same trigger over and over again. But that's just my opinion. Shadow in his house. I hope y'all have a bright and productive day and an even more bright and productive podcast. Shine bright, shadow out.
I like that.
Thank you,
Shine bright,
Shadow.
shadow out.
Yes, we love that, girl. Thank you so much for the message. We appreciate you rolling up in here
100%.
from my girl, House of Blanco's very own. Let's keep it rolling with these messages.
Sorry, I'm not sure if my first message got cut off or not. I don't know how this app works quite yet. But something that's quite triggering for me is I get the topic of mental illness and past trauma with people a lot. And since many people have told me that I give off a really calm aura and stuff, and so people end up like sharing their past experiences with me and like expecting me to give like advice on it when I myself am not over or dealt with stuff that's happened to me, and I don't know what to tell them, and I think they get a little offended when I like advise them to go talk to a professional. And I don't know, it's weird, and it makes me feel really bad and panicky when they ask.
I think that's understandable. I mean, like I said, it's earlier, like a lot of people are walking around and they're like open wounds. And that can, and when you live as an open wound for too long, desperation is is quite often a byproduct of that lifestyle. And people who are desperate will reach out for anybody. A drowning person who's panicking will pull people down with them. They're
Absolutely.
not evil, they're just desperate. And so they're dangerous. And it's important to try to be aware of those. And I can understand from her perspective. I think she said it was like at work she's dealing with this. So that's hard because it's harder to remove yourself from that environment if you can't like quit that job or relocate and so on and so forth. So respect. That's a tough one.
It's super difficult sometimes, especially when you are forced to have to deal with people in spite of the triggers that they have.
Mm.
And then you can kind of get into this whole relationship that you have with people where it's like, I call it the you panic, I'll paddle syndrome. like, like
Right.
at the
I
at
like
the
that. That's
end of
like
the
the
day,
equivalent of like you're driving the car and they're shotgun like screaming. Like, yeah, okay, you freak out. I got
yeah,
it. we're moving. We're
yeah, like
moving. Let's get the
you
hell out of
panic,
here.
I'll paddle. Like, and I really want you guys to use that. That's another Blancoism that you guys can use. Um, because I have a whole book of Blancoisms coming out very soon. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's the whole you panic, I'll paddle relationship where it's just like, in spite of what's going on right now, and I understand that it's difficult for you. Like I'm forced to have to deal with you, and I think a lot of us kind of get into these situations with family. I think a lot of
Absolutely.
times,
Absolutely.
you don't have a choice. like, and I realized that with my parents. Like, I love my family to death. And I really don't believe they're bad people. I think that they've just been it's just learned behavior. A lot of this shit that I had, a lot of problems that I have with them. And so when I was made them available, when I made it aware to them, and it's crazy because when I've confronted my parents, like as of recently, um, I've seen accountability being taken. Like, yeah,
Hmm.
and that's been a healing energy. Like, because when I was growing up, when I was a kid, I didn't know what I was talking about. I was making shit up. But like as an adult, it's just like, no, you hit a point. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
so it makes me feel a lot more liberated because it's just like great. Like, I'm not dealing with people who are trying to make it seem like I'm delusional. Like, I know what I'm seeing. I'm addressing it head on, and I'm confronting it in a respectful manner. But I'm definitely confronting it head on. So yeah, the whole you panic off uh, relationship dynamic is important because every now and again we do need someone who's able to kind of like drive the boat, as the kids are saying out here nowadays. Like, it's important that we find people who are able to kind of like keep a level head in the midst of us being all over the place, in hopes that we can get to a place of stability and equilibrium and recalibration. So it's important.
Hmm. Support. 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 We're stronger together than we are apart. I mean,
Exactly.
we know that that's a
Exactly. But
simple truth.
it takes work to get to that space, though. It's not something
It
that you
does,
just
though.
arrive one day. it's a it's a consistent effort every single day. Um, but yeah, shout out to everybody in the room. Let's get through some of these
What are my
messages.
triggers? Twangy. Twangy is my trigger. He triggers me to do amazing things and to speak my mind and to feel liberated and to fucking just be creative as fuck. I love you, Twangy. Shout outs to all my creatives out there. And of course, shout outs to EXO, Vinny Blanco, and Nitty Gritty. What's up, guys?
That actually makes kind of like, and this is just like popping into my head right now, but that really makes me think. Wouldn't we say
Yeah.
that, like, when we see something that excites us or inspires us to be something, wouldn't that also be considered a positive trigger? Like, don't they technically function the same way?
Oh, for sure.
Like, something
100%.
outside, you instinctually, habitually are like, I like that. It makes me happy. Like, there's happy triggers that we don't really mind having. You
No,
know what I
because,
mean?
but we don't pay them as much attention, or we don't really shine the light on them as much as we should,
Right.
because
Well,
we're
we don't
all
really
as
need to fix them, but knowing that they exist in that manner helps us understand more about triggers in general and like how we make our choices about what we like and don't like, right?
no, absolutely. I'm not discrediting that. I'm definitely accepting that
I'm
as
just excited because it popped into my head. So I was like, that's very
no,
interesting.
absolutely, 100%. No,
Positive
and it's
triggers.
important that we're made aware of those positive triggers, because I think a lot of times we end up getting so caught up in the negative that's going on around us,
Right.
that we're not aware of the positive things that are around us as well. And so I think that that's something that we're taught. We're taught to be more receptive and more responsive to the negative rather than the positive. And so it takes work to have to kind of like have to you know, work on your receptors, and say,
Hmm.
I'm not going to give, the news. The
Oh
news
gosh.
is a prime example,
Yikes, right?
conditioning us to be receptive to bad information. Like the shit, 90%, 99% of the shit that happens that is talked
Right.
about on the news is depressing as fuck. Somebody
Well,
got
yeah, plus
killed.
it's so much biased. There's so many opinions mixed in with the information. It's like, listen. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If
yeah,
you get to broadcast your effing opinion along with the information, then shouldn't we all get to do that? And then if
yeah.
we all did that, wouldn't that be ridiculous? It's like, hold the F on. I don't care what your opinion of the news is. I want the news. Is anybody willing to just do that? You know what I mean? Like, obviously, instead of like, here's the news and what I think about it. It's like,
Right.
why
Exactly.
would I, who are you to me? We don't live the same life. You had a completely different, like, why do I care what your opinion is? Mr. News
Right.
Anchor person or Mrs. News Anchor, like it's ridiculous.
Right. You don't even have a name. Your name is news anchor.
Right? Person.
Get a
That's right.
personality first. With the contrived ass voice that you are over here telling the news in. A lady got robbed
Yeah.
yesterday on the 45th 100 block of Meadow Lane.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
Right. All calm and composed.
Right.
Not like, what the heck is going on, people? Anyway.
It's crazy.
It's a tangent, but it's a
It is a
good tangent for a moment. Excuse us, everyone.
We love a good tangent. You guys will get used to it, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Let's play.
undoubtedly.
I have issues. I have issues.
Worm, you do have
Yeah.
issues for sure.
But we love you for them. That's
More
the
issues in vogue, and you need to know that for certain.
I like that. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, nitty gritty, that's true, and that's true, Vinny, on the one and only baggage check, huh? Definitely one and only. No matter what other, anything is going on, but nitty gritty, definitely what you said about the parenting, that really, that resides with me a lot because my son is 7, and I sheltered him the first like 3 years, and he ended up being a bully, getting kicked out of a lot of schools, and I had to let him go out there and get into fights with kids and engage, and that's how he has to learn, because you don't want to raise a bully, and you don't want to raise a wuss either. So it's a thin line between that, and it's definitely an inner battle between a parent, because it's like, damn, I want to keep my kids safe, but then again, I don't want to keep them too safe. So thanks for dropping these gems, guys, on the one and only baggage check.
Rihanna.
Yeah, I've said the same thing to my son. It's like, if you get into a fight at school and you're the one who started the fight, you and I are going to have a problem. You know what I mean? We're going to have to talk. But if you get in a fight in school because you were defending yourself, because somebody was, you know what I mean? Because something was, wrong. If you're defending yourself and you get in a fight, the school might be upset with you, but I won't. You know what I mean? It's better to defend yourself in those moments, preferably not with violence, but if it's, you know what I mean? Like you just, it's like this, such a testing ground for strength, which is so horribly brutal. Our schools need such a freaking reform. But regardless of how we reform the schools, like children are children, and in groups they're going to be doing this kind of, it's how it works, young people learning how to be social. So yeah, make them strong, but she's right. There is a very fine line between making them strong and confident and turning them into a little bully, basically.
Yeah. 100%. Couldn't agree more. I don't know what's going on.
I could say how I deal with my triggers is I'm definitely the type of person to just talk about it up front, to isolate the person one-on-one, because people tend to act different in crowds. And then my second step is always, I'm a Leo and I'm an extrovert, but I tend to downplay myself and give more attention and, kind of give more compliments and make it more about other females around me. I do not try to amplify myself. I always try to keep a low profile, you know what I mean? Like no cleavage, keep it conservative, cough cough. But in reality, that's how I deal with it. I stay low key and I amplify others so that the environment isn't, like, how can I say, like a breeding ground for any type of bullying or anything that will trigger me. You know, the situation stays nice and positive. You guys know what I mean? That's how I deal with it.
I like that.
Right on.
Healthy
Yeah,
speech.
I love that.
Are you cooking?
No, I'm rolling up a bag.
Ooh. Ooh.
It's just maybe the TMI.
No, that's we love that we love it.
Listen, you asked at the right moment, and I'm a genuine guy, so there you go.
I love it. I can't wait till we do a live broadcast of the show,
Oh
live
man,
and in color from Hawaii, smoking a blunt
right?
together. That would be funny. I think I
That
would
yeah,
enjoy it for sure.
yeah. That'll
It's
be
good.
YouTube, Instagram Live. We'll blast that, sure. Some of it,
Mm-hmm.
some of it we gotta, there can't be
Yeah,
cameras around for,
can't let you
so we can
guys see
party.
too Benny Blanco off brand on camera. It's just not
Right,
gonna happen.
exactly.
It's a completely different person.
And we can't be showing too much of the unprofessional side of our. I'm just kidding.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
The business.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Let's get the just
Let's do it.
Personally, I don't need the attention. I don't like the attention. So it works with my personality. And it's awesome. It feels great to make other people feel good. And that's how I deal with that trigger. That message was kind of cut off, but shout out to y'all.
Thank you, baby. Let's see what
Yeah.
else. Yeah. Let's see here.
Okay, what's the deal?
XO Vinny Blanco is back with Baggage Check, and I'm super excited. Sorry I couldn't make the whole thing. I'm just getting off work and have a ton to do tonight. But I love you. Super excited for you. Super excited for Baggage Check. And hey, Nitty Gritty, what it do?
Hey.
I love Thierry. It's my girl. You guys will see a lot more of Thierry. We actually have a show tomorrow coming out called The Empath's Guide to Universe.
Ooh.
Yes. Last week.
Empath's Guide to the Universe. Wow.
Yeah. We asked the question last week of like what type of empath people were, because I don't think people knows that there's 8 different types. There's dream empath, physical empath, emotional empath, intuitive empath, animal empath, plant empath, and earth empath. Those are the 8. I think I just said 8. Yeah, I think I just said. So I wanted to know people what are their combinations, because you just don't feel one thing sometimes. Like a lot of times people can feel a combination of things, and so yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of philosophy going in there. It's interesting. I like
Wow.
it.
I mean, as you should expect with any talk with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. It sounds all juicy and spicy. It sounds like a
It
fun talk.
does. It does. I'm gonna get back to these messages, you guys. I think we're winding down for the evening, though.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So once we run through the rest of these messages, I think that we'll have a good space to debrief and then
Wrap it up.
for the evening, y'all. This was a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Totally.
I enjoyed myself.
as, as
What'd you say?
I said, as did I. I enjoyed myself as well.
You did. I'm glad that you did. Thank you
Right
for
on.
doing.
Yeah, thank you for asking me. I'm excited. This is like literally the first time, and I've been on stereo like sporadically since like October of last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time I'll be doing something like on a weekly, regular basis, like ever. So
We
it's
love
exciting for me too.
commitment.
Yeah, right. So now there's a place you can actually depend on finding me if that's something you're interested in finding. I'll be in this spot at least. Same time every week. Here we go.
Every Monday. Yep.
Yep. So
Wonderful.
it's exciting. So thank you for asking me. So it's a
100%.
move forward for me too.
Absolutely.
Hey, Vinny Blanco, what's up, man? I just want to say to you, you really raised my spirits. Vinny Blanco, hey, Nitty Gritty, what up, my boy Nitty Gritty? Always keeping it real.
Bringing the energy, Worm. Love it.
My goodness, Worm, what is going on over there?
Right?
What is going on? Your poor girlfriend.
Oh.
Your poor girlfriend. I know that she can write a novel with the shit that you be doing over there. This extra energy alone. I can only
Very true.
imagine.
So true.
No, I love you, Worm. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Let's get these messages out.
I don't really have triggers because I'm surrounded by the blood of Jesus and with
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
trigger for me.
Yeah.
That right there is a prime trigger. When people want to belittle the importance of mental health and mental health awareness and mental health services by trying to say, well, I don't need to see a therapist because I have Jesus Christ in my life. Well, Jesus Christ put people in positions to be psychologists and psychiatrists and therapists and counselors so that you can get the help and tools and resources necessary for you to be the absolute best version of yourself. So you sit over here and asking God to direct your path when He is giving you the map and the tools needed for you to direct your own path. It's absolutely ridiculous to me. I need church people in particularly to break out of this mentality because you guys are doing
Well,
y'all
and if I
wrong.
remember, if I heard her correctly, it was I'm surrounded by the blood of Jesus. So it was like I don't need a therapist. I do blood rituals. Like,
All of that shit is foolish.
okay, if that works for
Foolish.
you, good for you.
I say this with respect, and I say this from a person whose
Like, that's scary.
grandparents were both pastors and who grew up in the church. So you're not talking to somebody who is not aware of the word. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
at the same time, there's a lot of things that happen within the space of religion that is foolish. It's just foolish. It's stupid as hell. I'm going to say something about it. I don't give a fuck how nobody feels about it. And it's what it is. Like we have to get past this whole, you know, oh, Jesus trumps all mental illness. No, Jesus is giving you the tools and resources necessary for you to get that shit and check yourself. And you continue to spit in His face every single day when you reject those tools and resources necessary to do the work on yourself. Because the Bible says faith without works is dead. So you got big faith, but you ain't putting it in the work to make sure that you
Yeah.
taking care of you first.
And again, it's walk the walk. You know what I mean? If what is being spoken to you is good advice, you know what I mean? Then that person obviously should be taking it themselves the same, and then you know what I mean. Then their life should seem to be like going well compared to based on the advice they're giving you. So it's like this that kind of thing. It's like, hey, all right, well if that works for you, great. Genuinely, you know what I mean? But it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
basically, stay in your lane, and we're cool.
Right. Since we're on the subject of religion, bitch, another trigger of mine is I'll pray for you.
Oh, right.
Bitch, I see what prayer has done for you in your life, and it don't seem like you got it together, bitch.
Yeah, and that's rarely said. I mean, sometimes it's said genuinely, like when there's a loss in someone, but when it's that kind of "I'll pray for you" in a discussion or something, it's not meant in a positive way. So how horrible of you if that's truly what you believe, to use something that should be so sacred to you and use it as a passive aggressive weapon.
But in addition to all of that, it's like
it's
bitch,
not cool.
You a mess yourself. Like you a mess yourself. And I see what prayer has done for you in your life. And blessings is just not your ministry. Like, miracles is
Right.
just not what you do. So you can keep that prayer. I don't need it. Because I might be worse off than I started if I let you pray for me, baby. So you go ahead and use that prayer on somebody who needs it. Because it damn sure ain't me. Child. Just telling you the truth. Love you dearly.
And I've had chats with like monks and priests and stuff like that that are, that are deep in it, and they're more than willing and open to have like a casual conversation with me from a philosophical standpoint about belief and things like that. And they don't push. So, I mean, it's not, it's not impossible to have that mindset and that belief. If that's your choice, I respect that. But everyone on this planet who is a conscious, self-aware being has the choice as well. And you cannot get around that. You simply cannot. And I don't have to choose what you choose. No, I do not. So that's all it is. It's like, I'm not saying it's bad, but I get to choose what I'm going to believe, just like everybody else. So respect.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's all. Mutual respect. It's cool. Be better you. If that works for you to be a better you, then awesome. Go for it. I'm totally down.
Yeah. But do better. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Yeah, no, I mean, I could go deeper into that. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, I have my personal stuff because I grew up in the church too. You know what I mean? I was a camp counselor at a Baptist, summer camp. Like I went all the way deep in, read, and you know what I mean? And I found it wanting when I started to see the flaws, and then I started reading more, and and I grew and understanding, and I moved around the world and I saw from different perspectives, like that kind of thing. It's like eventually you just sort of grow. I grew out of it. I was like, I can't, this format is constricting to growth. It locks you at a certain place, and it doesn't allow you to take responsibility for things because you're not doing anything for you. You're doing it for some deity.
Right.
Absolutely. And, it shifts the responsibility for you away from you and onto some unforeseen father, mother, authority figure, for better or worse. And it's like, I want us to, I believe that it's like, that's my responsibility. I'm in charge of making the choices. So all the damage or good I do is on me. I can be grateful for my life, but I don't pretend to understand that I know how that works. That's a mystery. But why we're here is a mystery. There's lots of theories. That's, it's cool. But that's just my 2 cents.
We appreciate it. Let's get messages.
Hey, XO Vinny Blanco. What's up, nitty gritty? Baggage check. What are your triggers? Great question. Whew. You know what triggers me? When I do something my way and someone tells me it's the wrong way. Because there is no wrong way. There are just ways that are more efficient than others, or work for other people, but not necessarily for everybody. But that's a real trigger of mine because it makes me feel like I am being belittled or spoken down to as if I was a woman child instead of a grown-up. And yeah, that's definitely a trigger for me. Don't tell me how to do what I'm doing. Tell me how you can tell me how you do it. No, that's so interesting. You do it this way. I do it that way, but don't. Why do you do it that way? Oh, that triggers me so bad.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when
I'm guilty. I'm not guilty, but I'm that's like I've had that happen to me too. Like I've shared that experience as well. Like that's annoying as F. Like
yeah.
Just saying.
I talked my family a few times, and I've caught my dad a couple times. He's like, "What is the point in doing it the way that you want it to be done if the end result is the same? Like, what is the point?" And then when you force people to have to look at it from that particular perspective, then they're like, "Oh yeah, I've been arguing about some dumb shit for a long time." Like, if he's saying that, and it makes a lot of sense. It's like, just let me do it. I do it because at the end of the day, it's still getting done at the end of the day. Like, and then be grateful for the fact that you didn't have to do it. Like,
well, and that's the whole reason you ask somebody to do it is because it's like you can't do, like when we're working as a team, it's like I can't do everything, you can't do everything, you do this and I'll do this. How you do what you do should not be relevant to me unless you don't get your job done properly on time and within our agreement. Like, you know what I mean? If you don't live up to what it is you've agreed to do, then hey. But how you do it, yeah. The only reason that I would care about that is if I had some sort of weird ego or I was offended that you didn't agree that my way was the best way, but best way is the mistake. Best way for you. You know what I mean? The way you found that is best for you. Awesome. I'm super happy you found that. I like this way. Let's be cool. Let's be friends. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like it is. She's right. So I think that's yeah, yeah,
100%. Let's keep
right.
it rolling. These messages.
Messengers.
Exo Vinny Blanco and Nitty Gritty.
What the fuck?
Us is out of control.
I love you guys. Love you guys. Much love from Wormillion to Exo Vinny Blanco and Nitty Gritty.
And you hear
What
this
is
girl in the
wrong with
background
him?
laughing. See, that's he's
What are
lucky
you
to have a
on?
girl who finds his antics. See your
What are you doing? What the fuck was that?
It was
Thank you
it's
for
Worm.
triggering
He's an
me.
artist. All right, sometimes they can be kind of chaotic. You got to be careful. But super
Yeah.
fun. There,
Let me know if
he's
I can
awesome
send
in
you
that
some.
Alice in Wonderland way. All the mad people are the best ones.
Well, let me know if I can send you some Valium or some Prozac or something, because that was a lot. I'm still trying to process. I think that made me dizzy.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
jolting to be sure.
Yeah, for real.
Hmm.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
it may be ridiculous to you, but
Mm.
it's my belief system just like you have yours, so how dare you?
Okay, girl.
We're not telling you to change the way you think at
I didn't
all.
say nothing offensive, child.
Yeah,
But
just saying
that's
it's
another.
not. This is our space, and that's not how we vibe. So
Yeah, and it's just
cool
like,
cool it. It's cool.
that's clearly a clear indication that you're not aware of how important mental health services are, because you jumped at, people always want to jump to be offended at the smallest amount of constructive criticism. Like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying?
and then the conversation suddenly shifts to a completely different topic than what we're talking about, which is not going to happen here.
Girl, you can Bible thump somewhere else, girl. I just don't have time for that. Like, because it
Like
just it
that's a
don't apply.
detour we're not taking.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I've already I get that enough from my family. I'm
Yeah,
good.
and we've said our piece at this point too, so like there's nothing more to add. It's
Nothing
like
more.
it's cool.
But we
It's
wish you
cool.
a blessed day. You know.
Absolutely. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, for
We're
sure.
sorry that we don't agree with your views on certain things, but there's no disrespect meant. So take
No,
care.
none at all. And if you took it that way, if I delivered it in a way that could be taken that way, then I apologize, because that was not my intention. Um,
Absolutely.
but yeah,
Go in
have a
peace.
yes. Be well.
Hmm.
Let's keep it pushing.
Hello there, Vinny. Hi, Nitty Gritty. This is Wisdom
Wisdom
Speaks.
speaks.
Just coming through to show some love and support and to bring some positive vibes. And I hope that you both have an amazing Monday, and I pray that your upcoming week will be even more amazing and blessed. May God continue to be with you and your families. You guys continue to be safe. God bless you both.
Oh, she's a Trump supporter. Nitty. Nitty gritty. Hello?
Yes, I said sorry. I didn't realize I was on mute. Thank you, Wisdom Speaks. And yeah, you could tell the other one had it in the name. So yeah, it's cool.
I just read it. GG for Trump. Because I was
Yeah.
only looking at GG. Yeah, girl.
And
Girl, you getting
that's the
blocked
other
anyway.
crazy thing, you know what I mean? That gets really polarizing in that thing too. It's like I don't have to like that we have people like that we disagree with, but we do have to accept that this country includes them,
Right.
and they have all these the same power of choice that we have. And so it's so important that we find a way to have a healthy dialogue and not completely continue to be at odds with each other, because we coexist. It's like an eternal battle with a roommate we can't get along. It's like the whole country's the odd couple. Like we've got to get over
Mhm.
this crap and figure out a way to coexist. And that means allowing people to think what they think, but that's a very hard process, and who knows, you know what I mean? That's the challenge we're facing right now, and
Mhm.
clear freaking communication is the only way we're going to do that. So ma'am, all respect, I get it. We don't agree with those views, so that's not what we're including in our content and what we're trying to do here with Baggage Check. That's no hate towards you. It's just this isn't the space for that.
Well, she
That's
got
all.
blocked, so that's all
Okay.
good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't
Either
got time.
way, it's like,
And you get blocked just based off of the strength of you have GG for Trump in your as your handle, bitch. I ain't got time for you.
well, fair enough. Yeah,
You can
that's your
take you
prerogative.
and your Trump beliefs and all that other shit, and you can go to hell for all that shit. I don't give a fuck, girl. Bye.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I think you found another one of my triggers because legit I'm listening to you talk about the way that some people push their faith into other people's faces and all this, passive aggressive praying and just all the things, and my eyes just twitching. It is just twitching. It won't stop twitching. So yes, 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 yes. Triggered. Absolutely. Triggered.
Yeah, when people weaponize their religion like as a means to hurt people and to segregate and to divide and to inflict pain and trauma and harm, then bitch, you can suck my dick at that point.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just really how I feel. That's really how I feel about it. I'm not mixing words this time
I
around.
love
You
it.
can suck
Yeah,
my dick.
that is transparent, and I respect it. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right. Like, I mean,
that's
and
really
it's
how.
okay for you to feel that way.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that people. Here's the thing: we don't all have to get along, people. For us to absolutely get along is ridiculously impossible. But we all have to respect the fact that we all exist and have that same power of choice. Like we all have the same power to do damage or good. We all have that choice. So it's like you have to respect, hey, this person is just as dangerous as I am to a degree. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we
Hmm.
all have that thing. So it's like don't it's very complicated. Super
Right.
complicated. So
Yeah.
don't try to control other people's choices. That's like the best advice I could give. It's one of the mantras I keep in mind too. It's like when people even ask for me as for like as advice or something when I'm doing the coaching, like I don't give advice. Are you out of your mind? Like you're the only one who's going to be able to come up with the solutions to your problems. You're the only one who's lived your life.
Right. Man, that bitch Gigi really triggered me, bitch. I'm really mad about that hoe.
I feel you. All right, take a breath. This is the whole thing. This is a perfect example. You were just triggered. She's not worth it, right? You know that. I'm going to just speak, right? Take a breath, wash it clean, and move on because you don't value her opinion. So you shouldn't allow her to continue
No,
to exist in your
no,
mind rent free.
I'm not mad in the sense of her coming in here and like and dropping messages. I'm just mad like reading that whole because I didn't like when on my side when I play messages I don't see people's handles because I have like
Uh,
the screen open. I could only see their name, so all I saw was Gigi. But then when I went to her page and I saw Gigi for Trump, and it said God fearing blood through and through, an
oof.
American patriot in her bio. I said, bitch, you
Yeah.
are the worst. You are the ones. You are probably one of the bitches who stormed the Capitol.
Yeah, we are not going to be friends. It's a clear. There's a clear. Like the signs are clear.
Yeah, fuck yeah, the long way, girl.
Yeah,
I don't have
it's
no time
cool.
for you. Yeah, she triggered me to hell, but that was funny. I needed that laugh. Oh yeah. Oh child. I don't know why you thought you a Trump supporter could slide up in here into a gay black man's talk like that shit. Like that shit was cute. That's funny.
Right,
That's
right,
fucking
right.
funny.
Yeah, that's a bit oblivious, like not reading the room at all.
Not reading the hosts. Fuck the room. You ain't even see who was up here. My skin complexion ain't dark just for aesthetics, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like I really subscribe to the black experience. Like so, I just don't understand why you thought that you could
I
slide
should
up in
hope
here.
so.
You know what I'm saying? There's no Sammy Sosa in this bitch. Like
I
this is
love
the
that. I really
true blue.
subscribe. You're damn right you
Yes,
do.
we ain't got no Sammy Sosas up in here. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? This is the true blue
Hmm.
black man experience, and you gonna come in here talk about God and some toxic religious shit, and your name is Gigi for motherfucking Trump. Bitch, if you don't go to hell on the express train, I don't want you to make no. I want you to take a direct trip to hell.
All right, it's good. It's good to get that out. It's good to get that
Yes,
out. It's good
I
to
need
get
that
that
laugh.
out.
Let's keep on. Let's
What a
keep on
trip.
with
That's
this.
so funny.
Nitty gritty, I completely agree. It was a very restricting format for me as well. And I feel like it was a great jumping off point into the world of spirituality. And if you find yourself wanting to go into priesthood or a pastor kind of a place, like into the like seminary type school stuff, I think that's a real sign that you are a very spiritual person, and you know, to each their own. And if it works for you, that works for you. But for me, there was too many constrictions. It was too many contradictions, and then learning about the history of what happened to my people, and how Christianity came about and things like that. For me, it wasn't right for me. Not that it's not right for other people. So, yes, respect to all those and what they believe. I just would never recommend it. Twitching still.
That also doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well with me that so many of these countries, like when I talk about these 72 countries in the world that where being gay is a crime. Like a lot of these countries did not operate within that space, but it was only until settlers came into their spaces and enforced religion and Christianity upon them, to where the rules started to change. Like a lot of these people, even African people, you know, like us as black people, we didn't celebrate, we didn't practice Christianity off rip. You know what I'm saying? That's something that was enforced upon us by our oppressors. And so a lot of that does not sit well with me. And we're not gonna go into this whole, you know, it's like I said, this rabbit holes, girls. You know, I try not to get into these type of conversations. But like I because, you know, I Glow Green is my girl. And she hit on something that really resonated with me. That don't sit well with me. And it doesn't make me question faith or religion collectively, but it doesn't sit well with me, and it would be wrong for me to act like shit is all pitches and cream when it comes to that particular sentiment. Like, no, bitch, that does not sit well in my spirit. It just doesn't. You know?
Agreed. Absolutely. You know, for me, I mean, like I said, we could have a whole talk. We really could. You know what I mean? I'm an atheist. You know what I mean? My mindset is there is undoubtedly mystery to our existence that we have not found the solution to yet, but nobody knows. There are a lot of theories, but nobody knows. That's what faith supposedly, why we created a thing called faith.
Right.
To circumvent like knowing something through experience and proof. You know what I mean? So it's not like hateful or anything. It's like that's a choice you can make. You can choose to want to do that, and that's cool. But I chose not to do that because for me it was more freeing, giving myself the responsibility and like trying not to overspend a lot of time unless we're having a fun philosophical debate about, you know, existence at like an afterlife, so to speak. It's like freeing my mind from thinking about what happens after has made me much more grateful for now.
Right.
Like it's made me like life itself becomes more vibrant. It's like this isn't a trial run for something else. I'm not taking a test before I go somewhere else. Like this is the gift.
Right.
To be alive and to even be able to talk and argue and have conversations and experiences, good or bad. Like it's a ride. Whew.
It definitely is.
But you know, I'm grateful. I'm here.
Yes,
and I
me
want to live
too.
my life with that kind of gratitude, like in the now.
Yeah. I think a lot of times, and I'll say this thing and then we'll move on because, like I said, religion is such a
Yeah.
rabbit hole. But I think a lot of times when it comes to Christianity, and particularly just based off of my experience, you kind of are taken out of being able to enjoy life right here and right now because you're constantly thinking about afterlife and the concepts of heaven and hell and which place that you're going to go to, and if you make the slightest mistake or the slightest indiscretion, all of a sudden you are condemned to, you know. So it's just kind of like, it's just
Right.
it's a lot.
Right.
It creates anxiety,
Completely.
stress, and
Right.
it inflicts harm and trauma. And I don't think,
Constriction.
I don't think
Yeah.
people take into consideration off rip. So these are just things that I want people to be aware of. But yeah, let's keep it pushing because I don't want to get caught up in this conversation. Because I sense that
Agreed.
if one Trump supporter comes out of the woodwork to a gay black man's talk, I know that they are lurking around here. This
Right
must
now,
be
and
fun.
keep in mind, like, you know what I mean, the amount of reaction that you have to it could be could be what like is fishing out you know what I mean. So you gotta move past it quick, otherwise it'll keep going. Like it's one of those things,
we
right?
over it at this particular point because I see people up in the comment section I don't necessarily know.
Yep.
So I want to keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it
Right.
rolling, y'all.
Baby, don't
Yeah,
make me have to
positive.
write a prescription for some Lamictal.
Jeez.
Period. Let them know which should be key.
Or some lithium, some melatonin, some Seroquel.
Some Seroquel.
Seroquel. Yeah, I live for that. Shout out to Bishop. Oh
Oh,
no!
Triggered, I'm triggered as well. I'm fucking triggered. Catch us tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time when me and Vinny Blanco will be talking about our triggers. We'll be talking about everything that gets us excited, everything that gets us riled up, and how to deal with it.
You don't know me, Blanco, but what's up?
It's the girlfriend in the background. Shout out.
right.
I love when people be in relationships and I've never talked to their significant other, but like there's still a genuine sense of love on both sides. Like I
Totally.
live for that. Like me and Twingy's girlfriend, and now Worm and his girlfriend. I love that. Shout out to Worm's. I don't know her name. I'm sorry, Worm. You should have.
Yeah. Shout out to Worm's girlfriend.
Shout out to Worm's girlfriend. Much love to you, darling, and thank you for the support. I'm excited about our show tomorrow. And if you have any concepts or any ideas or any topics you want to talk about in particularly, send me a message so I can set it up for tomorrow morning. But yes, let's keep it rolling, you guys.
Is it rude and horrible of me that I have a family member who is constantly saying they're going to commit suicide? Is it wrong of me to not feel like bad about that, to not sympathize for that kind of behavior?
Wow, what a question. What a question. Well, let's tackle the first part of like right and wrong. There's a lot of relativity and subjectivity that can go into this question. It depends. There are a lot of factors we'd have to talk about to be able to unpack that legitimately. And there's no other way to say it. So yeah, but oftentimes when that people they speak of suicide in a way of like letting you know that they're thinking about it, that's them saying they need help, and they definitely don't know how to do it properly. And if you can't help them, then suggest a way to maybe get them help or whatever. But at the same time, you're right, it's not wrong. I would say that it's not wrong of you. It's not necessarily your responsibility to deal with that if they are not someone in your life that has done the work to build the relationship. Like, none of us are obligated. You know what I mean? You do it because you care about somebody. And if you don't care about somebody, there might be a reason for that.
Right.
As cold as that can seem to some people, and as unempathetic as people can see that, like there's just a simple kind of brutal truth to that reality, because not everybody likes everybody. So yeah, I guess that's as much as I could get into that without like spending an hour or two really digging into suicide in general and what it means and how to speak about it. But yeah, what do you think, Vinny?
Absolutely, I agree with everything you just said.
Why, thank you.
I mean, honestly, looking back, I think the majority of my triggers come from my Christian surroundings and what the Christian faith imposed upon me, and imposes upon people. I think that's the reason why I keep talking about it, is because it traumatized me in several ways, and I think a lot of my triggers come from that and from the Christian upbringing that I was given from all the different aspects of my family, from the Jehovah's Witness Christians to the Catholic Christians to the Methodist Christians and the Baptist Christians and all the different Christians that were in my family. Just trigger. But absolutely, I think that's why I keep talking about it. I'm sorry, guys. It doesn't need to be that kind of conversation today. But if you want to do another one that is about that, I'll be about it.
This sounds like a clubhouse kind of like conversation.
Yeah,
like get the people together to have like a group discussion, because it's like the format doesn't fit for this. You know what I mean? When you want to talk about this kind of subject, it should be a smaller group.
We'll probably start doing like special baggage check episodes exclusively on Clubhouse, just so that we can diversify and expand, because there are certain conversations that need to be had and
And
more.
tackle some of this stuff, yeah, like for the people
Mhm.
that we want to have a genuine conversation for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And then we'll let you guys know when we're able to do that, because that has to be more. We have people got schedules, people got priorities and
Hmm.
responsibilities, so we definitely have to make sure that everyone is one accord and can join at the same time
Right.
on the same day. But yeah, shout outs to you, Aglo Green, for being in the room and for just being amazing. Always with your commentary. We appreciate you, girl.
Yeah.
You know what really triggers me though? My kids. My kids really trigger me. For my upbringing. And so like as a parent, I'm really learning a lot and growing
Okay.
a lot through my triggers.
Mhm.
And like taking the time to obviously what you do with triggers, you look to see why is this triggering and all that shadow work, that deep work, that self work. So yeah, I wouldn't trade them for the world. They're like the best triggers in the universe. Like that's the trigger I want in my life. You know.
I think
Yeah,
that's
that's that way of like children definitely test your strength. Like you find levels of strength and perseverance that you never knew you could get to because when it comes to being a parent. I know that at least, you push yourself beyond what you think are your limits because it's
right.
that much of a trial. You know what I mean? It really is. It's like, damn, this is no joke. It really isn't. So,
Absolutely. And plus, I think that in the same breath, I think that it's only a good trigger for you because you have perspective, and you understand why it's a trigger. So it can be a healthy trigger now that you know exactly why it was a negative trigger to begin with. And so kudos to you for
yeah.
taking power back into the grand scheme of things as far as you know um, what's going on within your um, family dynamics,
Right.
and
And it's taking
also
responsibility for yourself too, right? Like that's brilliant. Like
love that
working on you.
for sure. Let's get through another one of these messages.
I think I
Yeah.
changed that screen name. It was giving me too many problems. Too many problems. Yes, I'm still a bishop. I'm still gonna be one at the end of the day. I ain't got a broadcast it on here though. So my real name is Lamonte. So here you go.
Oh, well, welcome.
Well, Lamonte, you still fine.
Yeah. 100%.
You co-signed with me. You didn't even know what I just said. I don't think that you really heard me.
Oh, that kind of. Oh, damn. Yeah. Okay. I get
Yeah,
it. I'm caught up.
Lamonte,
Took me a minute.
you are
I was a
definitely
step behind.
Monte is my type for
I
sure.
see. I see. I see. It's that kind of fine.
That
Right.
kind
Right. Right.
of
Right.
yeah, yum,
Gotcha.
yum. Oh yum, oh
Right.
yum, oh yum.
That's
I say
that
that all the
is
time.
spectacular.
I
Spectacular.
say
Oh
that
my
shit all
God.
the time. Oh yum,
I
oh
love it.
yum. I'm like, what are you saying? Like, I don't know at this point. It's just
Yeah.
at this freaking point.
I love it. I love it.
Shorty's back in the mix. Let's see what she's saying.
Maybe I should add that I don't actually have a relationship with these people anymore. It's my parents, so you can only take so much over 32 years.
Child, I'm 30. I understand.
Sometimes that's how it goes. Yeah.
I understand. But the thing about it is that when you receive your own healing, it will bring out the emotional traumas and it'll reveal in which ways your parents have not been healed. And so, although that can be staggering at times, when you are able to put things into perspective, you are sort of able to have empathy. And that's if you choose to have empathy. You know what I'm saying? I've chosen to have empathy because it really, my heart goes out to my family. Damn. Like, I'm so lucky to have mental health services. I'm so lucky to have worked within the space of mental health. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I'm so grateful because I could only imagine how difficult and oppressing it was to live that experience and not have anybody to talk to and not have resources to be able to rely on. Like, I couldn't imagine. I could not imagine.
Right.
Um, so that's helped our relationship in a way because I kind of like no shade. I kind of have to treat my family to a certain extent like my patients at some points. You know, because I just know what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. You know.
Right, and you got to know that it's not up to you when they hear or understand or whatever
Right.
it is. Like it's up
Right.
to them. So
Yeah.
you can share your stuff as openly and as honestly as you can.
Right.
They accept it when they're ready,
Right. And maybe
and
and
there's just
you
no getting
also have
around
to
that.
accept that they may never.
Right. Yes.
Like,
I've said that often too when it comes to just like when it comes to taking personal ownership over yourself rather than like moving out of that victimhood. And this is me speaking from personal experience, you know that like moving out of that victimhood identity and into sort of more like the hero of your story instead of the victim.
yeah.
You know, the protagonist, which is what you ultimately really are,
Yeah.
is the protagonist of your story. Like moving out of the victim thing takes a whole lot of like responsibility owning and you know that's where all that strength comes from. It's
Absolutely.
like it's so important.
It is very important. Absolutely. Let's keep on.
Thank you so much, honestly. I didn't mean this as a, you know, I don't know, a question of asking for pity or anything or making myself look really horrible and cold. You know,
What?
it's somebody
No.
I care about, but I can't put up with it anymore.
Baby, we understand.
Totally. 100%. 100%.
We've been there.
Yeah. I think honestly, Benny, we would put on the list of things for one of these Mondays to like just do like, hey, you're an adult and you have parents. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's a whole thing. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
many of us want to get into that. So many people want to talk about it. So
It's so
make that
important.
a topic one of these days.
For sure. 100%. Shout out to Shorty for
Yeah.
being short stuff. We appreciate you.
See, I got an
Shorty.
Android. I can't even do Clubhouse yet, but as soon as they let us Androids in, I'll be there.
That's a thing? I didn't even know that's a
Yeah, it's
thing.
only
Oh
an
my gosh.
iPhone application right now. But they said Android is supposed to be coming within the next few weeks, so we'll see.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not. I'm hating how overpopularized and how saturated Clubhouse is becoming. I think the fact that it was an exclusive app that was only invite only, what made it so much more desirable. You know,
Right.
and then when you make it more and more commercial, more and more mainstream, it takes away from the
Exclusivity of it or the privacy or whatever you
exclusive.
want to call it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also
That's
it takes
inevitable
away
though,
from
right?
being like
There's no way
elite.
of getting around that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then it takes away from the elite energy because like you have people who like you have Elon Musk on there. You have people like who really like who hitters and industries all across the board. You know what I mean? Who are
Yeah.
having workshops and lectures and conversations and
Hmm.
panels to like really spark conversations, start businesses, all of those things. And so um, I just think that it's going to get I don't know. And then I see monetization. Like once you have all these people on here, you want to have to start wanting to make money for people using the app because currently you guys aren't advertising on the app. So you clearly can't just be doing this for shits and giggles. Like somebody needs to be getting paid at the end of the day.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. You
So
know,
it just
there's some realities that just must be faced. You know what I mean?
yeah.
There's some like idealistic app kind of like we're still waiting to come into existence that doesn't involve a certain kind of like profit necessity, but it's like, you know what I mean? Again, that's an idealistic thing that we're all hoping will show up, but it's very hard for an app to continue to exist without making a profit.
Absolutely.
You know, the people who are the ones running it, you know, need to make money somehow. Otherwise, they're literally working for free and creating this thing. So in fact, I rarely agree with their business models, but it's like, it's growing pains. People are trying to figure it out. I just hope I can, you know, before I'm gone, they figured it out so we can have what we're talking about, like this, you know, app that has sort of like a multifaceted possibilities like this, that doesn't get flooded or toxic, like doesn't overwhelm it, you know, people angrily shouting on soapboxes. It's like stop.
Absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, there's
Hmm.
so much potential to these apps. There's so much potential.
Absolutely. For sure.
So
Let's get through some more of these messages, you guys. We're approaching our last 20 minutes of the show. Uh,
yes.
we appreciate all of you guys for hanging out with us this evening. This has been such a treat and such a warm welcome from our little hiatus from the show. I just
Mm-hmm.
thank everyone for being a part and dropping messages and giving us their feedback and their perspectives and their stories. We appreciate it also very much. I will be back up in this thing on Friday. I'm gonna have it. I don't know which mental health professional will be my co-host, but I will let you guys know probably by tomorrow.
Stay tuned.
Yes. So Baggage Check will be every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I believe it's going to be 11 p.m. GMT. So definitely make sure that you guys are keeping it locked. We're going to get to the last 7 messages here, and then we'll break for the evening. Let's keep it going.
Ooh, triggers. Triggers for me are like being talked down to, treated like I'm nothing compared to this other person, and then hateful slurs like the F word, or being called a retard and all that. I was called that all my life, but and right now, I really don't care because, if somebody said that to me now, I would roast them to the ground. I would read them their rights, and then y'all would bear witness to this roasting that I would put onto them. But at the end of the day, it does still bother me, even though that I do that, because before I would just sit there and take it and then, get so upset. And now I just go off.
Yeah.
Right, roasting is your strategy for dealing with that. Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think a lot of people more than not, especially in modern day worlds, end up using that as a coping tactic for sure. So,
sure.
I feel that I've definitely been guilty more than I would like to admit to. I remember
I think I always just say with coping mechanisms, that one is so important to remember everything in moderation.
Yeah.
A coping mechanism is meant to be like a Band-Aid. You use it when you need it, and it goes away when you don't. If you're always living with your coping mechanism, then you should evaluate why and work on that.
100%.
So,
and thank you, Paul, for being here.
Yeah.
Did I cut you off? I'm sorry, Nitty.
No. I was just saying, or don't. Who am I to tell you what to do? So I said should. I always try to correct myself. Whenever I say should, I always say, or don't. I'm not the boss of you.
Right.
You stay and don't change. Do your thing. It's not my business.
Your choice, your life, your problem.
Yep.
That's my slogan from here on out. Let's keep it rolling.
Hey guys, I really appreciate this platform, and I really appreciate you guys being here. I'm just listening in. Vinny Blanco, XOXO, what's up? Nitty Gritty, pleasure to meet you.
Mandingo, that's my guy.
Mandingo, yeah, I follow Mandingo.
He's a regular,
mm-hmm.
or OG on this app. He's been here for a while. But shout out to you. Thank you for listening. Ooh,
totally.
We got Lamonte on here on the line. Let's see what Lamonte got to say.
Blanco, you my type too. Hit me up.
Oh, it's getting real up in this streets.
Nitty gritty.
Yeah. Yeah. What? Who? Yeah.
Nitty. Nitty.
Vinny.
He said it's getting real up in these streets. It's not that bad. It's not. It's not that bad.
See, I'm just throwing out words. There's so many meanings they could have.
I love you. You know that I adore you.
You know. It's all love. It's all love.
Yeah.
You do you, boo.
Listen, Lamonte, I already sent you a message. I don't know if you checked your Instagram.
Did I? I will in a minute. I will.
I said Lamonte. Not nitty gritty.
Oh yeah, okay. See, I keep stepping in the way. I'm shutting up.
No, you're fine. I was just letting it be known that Lamonte has a little message in his Instagram inbox.
Mm-hmm.
Just take a look, and yeah, we'll go from there. Next message.
and another thing that really triggers me is when someone sits there and then they feel that it is their job and their job and their right to be able to sit there and tell me that if I spell a word wrong, like there, and spell it the other way, the person will be like, and they'll like type it out the correct way and make you feel like you are so stupid. And it's like, look, professor, I am not at school, and that's like another thing. And then another thing that really irritates me, just really bakes my cookies, is when you
I
see
like
like
that.
on social media when people are being so successful at something that you are just as equally good at, but yet because you are not young and beautiful like they are, that it just makes you get stuck in your head, because it's like, you feel less than, because it's like, man, if I'm not beautiful, I'm not.
Yes, that cut
Yeah,
up, but yeah, we do put a lot of value, a lot of a disproportionate value on beauty. We do.
yeah, for sure.
You
Yeah.
know, I mean, how many of us can't admit to ourselves that we knew we were in a bad relationship, but like they were just so hot. Like it's
Yeah.
like, like we've all,
Nikki,
so
stop,
many of us are
stop,
guilty of.
stop showing me a reflection of myself. Honestly,
Well,
it's quite
like,
disrespectful. It's a little
you know,
disrespectful. Just read me my rights and showed me
all right,
myself.
all right,
And
all
point.
right.
Yeah,
All the love,
I
all
thought
the
we,
power, Vinny.
I thought we was friends. You don't do that to friends. You don't expose friends on platforms on
Listen,
the internet.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Hmm.
Forgive me. Forgive me.
So then you be not up to now, like triggers.
Right.
Let's get these messages
This
down.
is a
We are at the end.
blast.
This is just a fun. This is a little. We're not talking so long.
Yeah, we're winding down.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, we got another Paul message.
So
Do we?
it just makes me feel like, that like, for instance, my artwork on Instagram, it's like I hardly have any followers right now, but then it's like, every Tom, Dick, and Harry that does the same thing as me, that is cute and good looking, they've got thousands, hundreds of thousands of followers and likes. And it's just because, the attractiveness, and it's like, it gets to me. And that's something that's very triggering to me. I really get in my head. I compare myself, and it's like,
Oh,
because and I just have to tell myself I am a 10. I am a 10 in my mind. I might be on the outside, may not be a 10, but in my mind I am a 10.
and that's really all that matters, to be honest. Like your
That
perception is
is
the reality.
exactly.
Like you're like, because I honestly, like, I get compliments all the time, but honestly, like more times than not, I don't feel like a 10. Like, and
Right.
accepting compliments is so cringy for me. Like it's so hard for me to like be able to like appreciate and like, there's moments where I'm just like, it seems like I'm accepting it, but that's only because like I'm accepting it in like passing. So like
Right.
usually, because I'm an overthinker, if I'm in the middle of something or something's going on, or I'm at an event or whatever the case may be, and I get a compliment, I just take it on the chin, take it on the chin, because I'm just like, oh girl, that comes with the territory. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, uh,
Right.
the outfit might be cute. I don't know if I'm cute, but the outfit is cute, so I pass for the evening. It is what it is. Like, I'll charge it to the game. But yeah, I totally get it. Like, I think we all kind of struggle with that for sure, especially as queer men.
No, no, not just queer men. I mean, that's for all of us, really.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know.
I was just tying it. I was just making
But you're
the
right.
the connection to the queer man experience, because there's such an emphasis on look and appearance in our
Ah, sure.
community. Um, so it becomes very toxic, and it can get very discouraging a lot more times than not. So yeah.
Aw.
But Arthur Paul, you are appreciated and loved over here, darling.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. Fuck the rest of these hoes. For the rest of these messages.
Love it.
Oh, Monte. Well, Monte, listen. You cannot have me cheesing this hard on my programming. It's starting to become a little incessant at this point. I don't know how I feel about it. But I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here this evening. Let's see what you got to say.
Baby, know what you
All
was gonna
right.
say? Shit. You ain't gotta apologize for nothing. You good.
Oh, he rocking with the kid for real, for real. Okay, Lamonte, you better check your Instagram messages.
This is fantastic.
Oh yes, it goes down in the DMs for sure.
What's going on? XO Vinny Blanco. How
What's
you
up, Bree
doing,
Bree?
nitty gritty? This is your girl Bree Talks chiming in. I was just walking these stereo streets trying to see what trouble I could get into, and I noticed you fellas were on. So what we talking about? What's your trigger? Um, my trigger? Really? I don't have any. No, I'll take that back. I do have a trigger. Fuckery. That's my trigger. When people like to play with fuckery. Yeah, that's it. All right, y'all. Once again, this is your girl Bree Talks, because talking's what I do, and I said what the fuck I said.
And I said what the fuck I said. Wow. It's like walks right in, drops the
Bree,
mic.
shut the
You're
room. Bree,
welcome. You're
girl, you
welcome.
still in your energy, huh? No, I had to talk with Bree personal, in the group chat on much a group chat because it was really me and her. We had a
Uh-huh.
personal conversation on Clubhouse the other day, and she was telling me about this whole situation. She was kind of venting to me then, but you sound like you got the same energy you got from that talk. I hope that you're good, girl. You know that I love you. Thank you for showing up and holding it down in the comment section. Yeah, she said, because talking is what I do, and I said, I love that should be your slogan.
Yeah, it certainly sounded like a new tag,
That definitely sounds like a tag for like a
you
podcast. Like,
know?
welcome to Pre Talks, because talking is what I do, and I said what the fuck I said.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
that's
That's,
sick.
yeah.
People will be
Yeah.
out here reciting that word for word. That people will eat
Mm-hmm.
that up. That's real cute.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
mm-hmm.
Catchy.
Yeah,
Truly. Yeah.
and sassy. You know, you got that
Yeah.
New York energy, so like it gives
Right?
very much New
Trigger.
York.
Trigger.
Trigger,
Trigger.
trigger.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
For it. Shout outs to Bree Talks. Let's keep it rolling. MC for life.
Oh, you guys are still on. Yay! I'm glad you're still here. I had some BS I had to deal with, so yeah, I'm back.
Oh,
Shout outs to
hey.
you. Thank you so much for being here, girl.
I don't know who the person that was chiming in about people having thousands of followers because of their looks and all that, and then it made them think, about themselves, and it's a pet peeve, which I get it. But then in your mind, you said you were a 10. But yeah, I totally feel you on that. I'll tell you this much about me. Could be that Vinny's going to probably giggle and agree. Oh, no, it is. Everybody's different. But let me throw in some bullshit. Fire signs. I'm an Aries. 50th birthday coming up Sunday. I consider myself the most ugliest man in the room, but the most confident and the most funniest. I will go up to the best looking stuck up girl in the bar, and I will have the bar fucking cracking up, including her. And if she doesn't, then everybody else will be cracking up and she'll be the butt of the joke. Confidence is the key.
Now, brown nuts. Guys, brown nuts. Baby. Brown nuts.
Here
Now,
we go.
don't listen. I know you trying to connect and you trying to connect to people on their level. But brown nuts, I seen your Instagram page, bro. Like, you are a gorgeous man.
Right.
You
This whole
are
I'm
gorgeous.
ugly.
Me
Right.
and me and Aqua Scorpio told you that a lot. Like, we tell you that every time that you on. Like, it was like, yo, for your age, you are a gorgeous man. Like, listen, listen, all my females in the room, single and ready to mingle. Definitely look out for my guy Brown Nuts Instagram page, 'cause he is fine. And he don't even look like he turning 50. Like, that's the thing. But I get where you coming from. You know what I'm saying? But it's no way that you could think that you're ugly. It's no way. It's no way. It's no way. No. No. No.
Vinny has spoken.
It's no way. No. Unacceptable. Not having it. No. Let's put these messages. I'm acting up, y'all. Forgive me.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What up, broski? XOXO Vinny Blanco. Indeed. Nitty gritty. What up? What up? What up?
What up?
What is it? Oh, what are your triggers? Uh-oh. Diving deep. That health talk, mental health, open talk. Yes, indeed. Baggage check. Going down live on stereo. Love to see it. Easily one of the hottest shows in these stereo streets, and certainly one of the most important. So shout out to XO Vinny Blanco, and shout out to you as well, Nitty Gritty. It's your boy Jersey Worthy just tapping in. What up?
Giddy. Shout out to
Yo.
Jersey Worthy for sure. Jersey, I'm still waiting for my invitation to Jersey Talk. You know what I'm saying? So that we can talk. No pun
Still waiting.
Absolutely.
And part two to that message: without confidence, which is a very individual thing, you ain't going nowhere. Like I said, I consider myself the ugliest person in the room, and by the way I talk, by the way I even dress or clean myself, and how I smell. I smell good all the time. I got cologne on. You know, my nails are clean. Like my rent is paid. Like you would think, who is this dude? And I'm just a regular dude. And I consider myself the ugliest, but my confidence and my smarts and the books that I read and the experiences that I have, like, just, I don't know. You know, at the end of the day, it's also about perception, because it's like a museum. When you go see a piece of art, it's subjective. You know, each has its own taste. There's pieces of art that are really fucking ridiculous looking and ugly, and people love it, and there are ones that look great and people hate it. But I think confidence is the number one thing in life.
Yeah, confidence is everything for sure. It is.
It's definitely important. Yeah.
But true confidence is important too. Like, I think that a lot of times people get so caught up in trying to portray confidence, but don't have it at the end of the day, like at the core center of them. And
Right.
so it can kind of be like this vicious cycle of um, faking it till you make it, imposter syndrome type. And I think that whole statement is a reinforcement of imposter syndrome, faking it until you make it.
Right. Well, it's important to keep in mind that, like, fake it till you make it means you're faking it, but you're also supposed to be learning how to actually do it while you're you know what I mean? That's the
You
idea.
hope.
Like, you're supposed to transition at some point. You're not supposed to stay in the fake it mode forever.
And a lot of people
And
get
some
stuck.
people get stuck there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just what it is, you know? So, and the true confidence comes through experience and training and learning and exercise and repetition and practice. You know how to do something. You understand how something works because you've gone through it over and over and over. Like, you're confident. You know what confidence feels like because you know you're good at something. That feeling, that's where confidence comes from. But it comes from doing the flipping work. You can't. It can be a mindset, but you gotta only for a little bit.
It has to be backed by action.
Yep. Action.
But
Action.
Sure, absolutely. We're gonna run through this next 8 messages, you guys, and then we're gonna break for the evening. We really do appreciate you guys hanging out with us for the return of Baggage Check. It's been a minute since I've been on these stereo streets, but it's my birthday month, and I had to start off the month right.
Yeah, me too.
Vibes. Oh yeah, where's yours?
April 17th.
You're an Aries.
Yeah, I'm an Aries.
Okay. Ooh, all my favorites' birthdays. Listen, April babies are the best babies. I'm telling you. It's just something about us. I don't know what it is. Nitty Gritty's birthday is this month. My birthday is the end of the month, the last day. Bougie King's birthday is this month. A lot of people's birthday is this month, so definitely make sure I keep it tuned, keep it locked. I'm gonna have a whole Blanco birthday bash on stereo on my birthday.
Oh boy,
so it'll be fun. Yeah, I'll probably cycle through different content creators and just like have like a little mini party and stuff like that. That'd be real cute.
Sounds like fun.
Yes. Let's keep going.
Bree Talks is a smelly pirate hooker who limps when she talks to you at a bar.
What?
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 She's always horny too. Horny for the brown.
What?
Don't be triggering my girl Bree Talks. You understand?
What?
Need that.
Coming
Yeah,
hard. Yikes.
Bree Talk, how about this? Since nobody's kicking it to you here, could be that you might. I don't know. Now, does anybody kick it to you here? You intimidate people? Bree Talks. How about you sit on Brown's lap and put a titty in my mouth, girl? Yeah. How about that? When you gonna do that? Sit on Daddy's lap and put a titty in my mouth. Then you get your gift.
Put a titty in my mouth?
Yeah.
That
Put
is
your
what he
breath
said.
in my mouth.
Oh wow!
Bear in mind, Vinny, gonna be 50 Sunday.
Oh wow!
I'm kinkier than ever.
Oh
Yeah,
my
Bree Talks.
gosh.
Answer that question. When you gonna put the titty in Brown's mouth on my lap, girl?
Oh my gosh!
Wow!
Wow! All right. Good luck with
I've
that.
never heard a grown ass man say "put the titty in my
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be genuine and transparent. I have said that phrase, but not like this. Not like not like that. I mean, I'm just saying I'm a grown ass man who likes to who has been guilty of saying that, but not like in a throw-in game kind of way.
Right.
Ever.
Exactly.
Sorry, Vinny. Came in here to start some shit. You know how the Brown does. Comedy time, sex time, nasty time. Yeah, lactation in my mouth from a lady that gave birth. That's single. Yeah, because she needs help. Similac. I'll go to the store and buy it for her as long as daddy gets some too. Yeah, nasty kinky. Yeah, freak out. That's right. Let him up like this.
What the fuck going on in the
it's going sideways. Yeah, brown nuts, bro.
He went from breast milk to Similac. I can't.
You know?
He said all of my single ladies who gave birth. Oh my God. I'm scared. I'm genuinely I'm a little perturbed. I don't know how to feel right now.
You know, honestly, and like the messages rolling in are probably like you could stir up the pot, man.
Oh, because you already know who's in the building. You know who's in the building?
No, I didn't
Fucking
check
like
yet.
Breezy.
Oh God.
It never fails.
That's why the plus is there. That's a breezy plus. I
Fucking
love it.
fails, yo.
Oh
I
no.
love my life. I love my friends on stereo. You guys never disappoint. Never disappoint. Bro, like you see what you did? You can't mention breast titties and in your mouth without like Breezy doing the moon slide up in here. Oh child. It's gonna be one of those episodes. Thank y'all for letting it go down on the return of baggage check. I really appreciate it. This is the most action we've had on any of our talks ever.
This is a serious adventure. Our pilot season 2 relaunch kind of thing we're doing. It's what a wonderful ride. We're
I love it because it's like we can be serious and we can go and we can have like real deep conversations, but then we can also have fun at the same. And that's exactly what I wanted to do. Like this is like more along the lines of like what I do for roll call. You know what I'm saying? Although like the subject matter might be a little bit more like it'll be a lot more simpler for the morning moving forward because this will be more my heavier topics. But I love the fact that we're able to kind of like be serious and talk about mental health, but also like not be so serious enough to where we can't have a laugh or have just
right. Well, it's exactly that's part of walking the walk, of showing how you, as much as you understand pain and trauma and all these things that we're talking about and working on, and you're showing that you found ways to be okay. You know what I mean? Laughter and things like genuine enjoyment and laughter and friendship and community like shows that you're hey, okay.
Absolutely, for sure.
And so yeah,
let's get through the messages, you guys, because I see that you guys have once again piled back up in the queue. I see that's Dr. Pete in the building, like Breezy.
Ask Dr. Pete.
Mr. Lamont is back. Lamonte is back in the building.
Oh boy, Vinny, you gonna be okay?
Oh yes, I'm cheesing. My cheeks hurt. I'm smiling so hard.
I'm so happy about it.
I'm really, really.
Let's do the messages. Let's see what's going on. Bring it.
Let's keep it rolling.
You think so? That's why I've been saying it. That's what I've been saying ever since Friday, Vinny. Yes, that talk we had was fabulous. I feel fabulous. Thank you so much, Vinny, for listening to me and hearing me out. And yes, from here on in, that is my slogan. Because talking's what I do, and I say what the fuck I say. Yeah.
I live for that. Yes, Bree, you got yourself a whole lifestyle, bro. That's gonna really pop off for you, my love. Let me know if there's anything that you need as far as like. Let me know if you want me to co-host a show for you, girl. I would love to help you launch your vision into action. You my girl. So shout outs to Bree Talks for real. Let's keep rolling with
Right
these.
on.
That's why I compliment you, by the way, is because I know it's hard for me to take compliments. And so when I joined Stereo and I started like doing my music over it, I was really, really hard on myself. And I told people I couldn't sing and I just do it for fun. And like people really built my confidence. So I feel when we passively reject those comments, we're preventing people from helping us build us up because that's what we're supposed to do here as a community.
You guys, if you ever have a moment, definitely take your asses on over to Roll Call Morning Show on Instagram. And there's a cute little video that I did, a little snippet from a show that I did with Conservative OG from last week about the importance of taking compliments and why it is difficult for people to receive compliments. I think it'll change a lot of you guys' lives. If you want to definitely just take that video out. It's only a minute and a couple of seconds long. I try to keep the videos, the little clips on there short and sweet because I know people's attention spans is short and sweet. So, I try to catch y'all at y'all levels. You know what I'm saying? I guess and it's important to know your demographic and know, what's going to captivate them, what's going to keep them for the long haul. So definitely check it out. It's on the Roll Call Morning Show Instagram. Yeah, share it and apply it, darling. It'll definitely enrich your life for sure. Let's keep it rolling with these messages.
Here we go.
Vinny, I love you. I appreciate the compliment. I listen to me. I appreciate it. I just don't consider myself that. You know me, Vinny, from these fucking Spanish Harlem Street, and fucking hustler. Thank you. Love you, brother. My kisses. I'm straight. I don't give a fuck. Love my brothers. Love my LGBTQ. Love everybody. Love dinosaurs. Trans. Brown. I love James Brown. I love the brown nuts. Love the ladies. Bisexual. I don't give a fuck. But I appreciate the compliment. But I consider myself fucking hustler. It's like fucking Tony Montana, Scarface. You ever looked at Scarface the movie? He don't stop to think about it. Look like a fucking get the yeah. Hey, chichi, get the fucking yeah. Hey, fucking Frank, you betrayed me. Eh? I never fucking did you, Frank. I never turned you, Frank. Bitch, I'm not gonna shoot that cockroach.
Yo, I love brown nuts.
Wow.
We got to do a show together. Like, I know your schedule is jam packed, but we have to do a show because you are a nut and I live for it.
Yeah, I would love to listen to that show. Please keep me posted.
Just that'll be cackling, just straight
Right.
cackling and hissing and screaming. Just
Right.
all of my favorite three
I'm
combinations.
sure my stomach will hurt. It'll be a good ab
I'll
workout
lose weight.
and
I'm
enjoyable.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
absolutely.
Um, yeah, let me know if you're ever open and available to do that. But yeah, um, you can still be a hustler and be attractive. But I see what you're saying. I understand where you're coming from. Like you're not caught up in that, which is cool. I think that also adds probably to your attractiveness too. The fact that you don't just subscribe to the fact that because it's annoying when you deal with somebody who knows that they're attractive, and they know it, and they're so sure, they're so sure of it. Like it's one of those things where they kind of like pull out their arsenal, like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I'm in a dicey situation, but I'm attractive, so I'm gonna play my attractive card and see how that wiggles me out of the situation. Like I hate that shit. That shit is annoying too.
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
I was waiting for you to jump in. I was like, you got want to say anything?
Man, there's too much. I'm just like, that whole, that's, yeah. We're gonna
You
put a
still,
pin in that.
you
We're gonna
you
put a pin
still
in
you still on the titties in my mouth situation.
that.
I could tell. I could tell Nitty Gritty got lost in the sauce. No pun intended. When Brown was talking about sit on my lap and put your titty in my mouth, like that. That was That was a lot.
No,
Yeah.
I am
I'm
more
scared.
mature
I'm
than
scared to
that.
get to like Breezy's.
That's
If you think that
hilarious.
that was crazy,
I know, right? It's about to
oh my
it's
man,
about to go. It's about to go. I'm just saying.
it's about to go down. Yeah. Yeah. Let's play these messages. Oh
Brown
God, we hear
nuts.
that.
Did you just brown nuts? You're fine. Don't. Hey, you're fine. You know it. You tell me all the time. You're fine. Dirty pirate poker whore.
Oh, y'all really getting nasty on baggage check tonight. All
My
right.
goodness, yeah. This
Goodness
like
gracious.
tail end is getting whoo
Maybe we should have
fun.
like a sex positive version of some sex positive talks in regards to baggage check.
Oh
You
yeah, we
know,
can always have those kind of
that's a good
conversations.
thing.
Like
Yeah,
what's
for
a
sure.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll swim into those waters. I'm down.
Hmm. Sure thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You already know, bro. Definitely. XO Vinny Blanco definitely has to come through on Jersey Talks. I can't wait, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, just tap in. Like I said, I mean, if anything, if not the upcoming one, definitely the next one. Gotta happen. Gotta happen. It will be epic. Cannot wait, bro. You already know what it is.
Squaw, you already know what it is, Jersey. You know what I'm saying? I got to get you back on roll call, too. We got to get back to working together because I miss you. But I hope that you all are well and I hope the baby's good, too. Let's keep rolling with these messages.
Really quick, as far as faking it till you make it, that's a fucking risky one. But bear in mind, when I'm on a stage wiring sound as a sound technician and engineer, I know what a DI box is. And I know how to wire it to a fucking bass guitar or a regular guitar
Right.
to its own amp. And if you don't have the smarts to back up the confidence, you could be in trouble when you get asked questions by the people who are smart. So know your shit in and out, study it well,
Right.
know the vagina, know the speaker, know whatever it is, know your hair, know dandruff, how does it come about, what kind of flakes is it, understand
What?
knowledge, know your stuff so you can back up your confidence at the end of the day.
What a lovely eclectic combination of examples. Thank you.
He said no, the vagina. That is a lot.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
lot. I don't know vagina. I'm sorry. I don't. That's not my ministry. You know.
That's not. That's
That's not.
that's that's right.
Mm-mm.
Ministry. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hey, good talk, you guys. Very good talk. I only caught the tail end, but you know, I think you're making some really good points about self-esteem. Really, what you're calling confidence. I believe that self-esteem, and most philosophers would suggest self-esteem is only earned. True self-esteem, and everything else is at a superficial level where and it's externally defined, and so therefore can be externally taken away. Where true achievement is the source of actual self-efficacy, and ultimately how much you like yourself. So, which is together the two constructs that compose self-esteem. Yep. Yo, man. Good show, man. Have a great night, you guys. Peace.
Thanks, Dr. Pete.
Thanks, Dr. Pete.
Thanks for the love. We appreciate you.
Yeah, and very wonderful, wonderful um, example, perspective,
Input.
professional explanation, input. But
Yeah.
yeah, brilliant. The stoic kind of. I love it. Love it. So,
Hmm. Oh, girl, we got one more. We got one more message until we get to Libreezy. I'm scared.
all right, let's get going. Didgeridoo.
Free talk is up next.
Brown nuts, quit talking that shit. I'm still waiting for you to use that butt plug. Seems like you all talking no action. I got the butt plug, baby boy. I need you to show me how to use it.
Ooh,
Oh, wow. Boom, boom,
it has turned
boom,
to
boom,
taking a
boom,
turn.
boom,
Like, are we hitting
boom.
sexual triggers now?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of it's yeah. I'm swimming into waters I'm unfamiliar with. So
No, you're gonna be swimming all right because it's about to get
yeah,
wet as fuck.
I'm just gonna I'm gonna tread some water. I know how to swim. It's cool.
Ooh, all right. I can't. I really can't swim. But that's okay.
Really?
Lamonte can help me
There
back
you
to
go.
steady ground. I hope.
Hmm.
Lamont, you still here? I don't know if you're still
Mm.
here. I hope that you are. I hope that you checked your Instagram too. This message.
Talking about my kids, that'll trigger me in a quick ass motherfucking second. If you want to get your ass beat, talk about my kids.
Well, that wasn't as bad. Hey, Taylor Breezy, baby. How you feeling?
Right, coming in just like answering the question too. Like that's
Yeah.
right on. What's up, bro? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't mess with Breezy's kids. We hear
Don't
you.
mess. Don't. I think that everybody know better than to mess with. La Breezy crazy
You
in real
know,
life. La Breezy
right?
is real life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is absolutely.
Oh, and Mr. Vinny Blanco, your avatar is looking rather rugged, and Nitty Gritty Yo still looks the same.
What do you What do you mean? I have glasses on now.
And you
That's
gotta.
new.
What's up with the clown nose? I really don't understand that one.
It's sort of my like little, I don't know, it's the I put it on during Christmas time because I didn't want to put on like a bunch of stuff because I tended to talk about serious things, but I still wanted to be festive. And then I at that time rewatched Patch Adams, and it just reminded me. And in that movie, he kind of used that as like a way of like softening the tension of a difficult situation. Like he would bring humor in that very very simple way, but still be very human. Patch Adams, and it's just sort of that kind of vibe of like I'll
Yeah.
keep the nose there because I talk about serious things, but at the same time, none of this stuff is meant to be an attack or a preach or a shove these
Or session.
informations or exactly. Like this is me sharing what works for me or my perspective and from you and like working on these things. And if it works and it connects with you, then use it. And if it doesn't, then trash it and find something else. Cause like I said, we're all different. So that's
My
that's
favorite
all I have
saying:
to
if it don't
that's all I have
fly,
to
then
say
it don't
about that.
apply.
Right.
Yes, sir. Let's keep it
So
rolling.
My favorite sentence Bernadette says is, "Put that titty in my mouth and sit on daddy's lap." Every time. It makes me giggle. Every time.
every time. See?
That
See?
that's
Benny, it's not just me.
it's not just you because it was me too. Like
Right?
I
It's
was
all of
taken
us.
for a loop. I said, did they just make this Thirsty Thursday on Baggage Check?
Right?
I
Sliding
think
right
that
into the end
they
of baggage
did.
check.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, cool. All right, cool. I mean, no judgment here.
Right?
Oh, Lante's next, you guys. Ooh, let's see what he has to say.
That's straight
Ooh.
disrespectful coming on to a motherfucker's boy. Never mind.
It's okay. Why are you laughing?
I didn't understand it. I was very confused.
I think he was starting to say something and he called himself. He was just like, never mind. I don't know. Maybe he meant
Oh,
maybe
is
he
that what it was?
want a message and yeah. Yeah, that's what I got from it. It sounded a little far away from the mic.
Okay.
But let's play the brown nuts. You acting up. Let's see what you got to say.
That's right, goddammit. Vinny, I know you miss me. I be stirring shit up. That's right, Nitty Gritty. Meet the brown nuts. Get the shit started. It's been fucking boring in here. Let's talk about breast milk. Put it in my mouth, lady. You gave birth? You single? You got a C-section? Let me lick that. Yeah. How much you got there? $3? I'll give you 20. I'll buy some milk for you, but you got to give me a little lactate milk. That's right now. Kinkster, Dom, Top, and disciplinarian in my fetish and kink community. It's gonna be 50. Can't get it now. I'm looking for a 19-year-old, freshly graduated, so I could get her some fresh books and walk her to college. Yeah. Retalk. That's my question. Vinny knows how we get down, man. We like to stir the pot, make people laugh, get people shocked. Vinny, what you mean you know how to feel? Why would a grown ass man asking to put a titty in the mouth? Shit. Asking you shall receive. That's what I do.
You sound like Breezy.
Seriously. Oh man.
What happened? Did they switch bodies or something?
I don't
Did they
know.
switch accounts?
I don't. I don't.
Very
I
calm
don't
and
know.
collected.
I'm currently lost on these stereo streets.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a GPS.
Where did we find ourselves? This is interesting.
See what happens.
It's
You see what
wonderful.
happens when you provide opportunities for people to really check their mental health.
Yeah.
Then they get horny. They
Yeah.
get in the mood.
Right. When you're comfortable and you're happy. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
natural. Absolutely. In a way, it's healthy. In a way.
In a way. In a way. For sure. We'll give you that.
100%.
You guys.
100%. 100%.
For sure. Let's play this
Vinny,
message.
You asked me before if we do a show, it's no holds barred. Cocks, balls, pussy, ashy nipples, and why there should be cream on it, and roasting.
Ash.
Ain't gonna be no serious
Yeah.
depression shit. You know how I roll. Me and Benny Boom Boom murder each other when we do a show. Just letting you know. Everything's on the table. Regular sex, gay sex, donkey sex, raccoon sex, gerbil sex,
What?
fisting,
What?
lubrication, silicone lube, doming, flogging, impact play,
Gerbil
sensory
sex.
deprivation, you know, 10 oranges for $1 on the street. All the ridiculous shit. That bum smell in the subway at 7 a.m. that's nice and pungent, it's like dead carcass and like with a little bit of sugar on it. Oh, everything is. Hey, listen, we're gonna get nasty, and we're gonna laugh, and you're gonna pee yourself if we do a show. Just letting you know. No fear, no fear. Anal sex, with a shoe. You put a shoe in the ass, for some reason. Yeah.
So scared.
This,
Nitty
this is
gritty.
special,
I've never
special
heard you
kind of wonderful.
I've never heard you exhale so hard ever in my life.
He was like, I'm gonna find them, buy her some books. I was like, yeah, but I also know that I understand that. I get it. I get it. I'm not gonna be that guy, but like I heard it, I was like, "Whoa, that one's hard. That's hard. That's
Yeah,
hard."
I
All
heard
my
dead
instincts
car.
are like,
It was a lot he said. He said dead carcasses with sugar on top. I don't.
right.
Yeah.
Why was sugar, and how does he find those ones specifically?
Right. And
It's
why
the
dead
details that I'm
carcasses?
so again. It's where it's like I said way
Shoes in the
earlier.
ass. And
It's in the
okay.
details,
All right. Cool. Yeah. Brown nuts, you
right?
are one special guy. We love you though. Let's keep running through these messages. You got 2 more messages. Oh God. Be with me today.
EMC, I am your listen. Trying to make me blush. EMC, I've seen your pictures, ladies and gentlemen. Vinny, nitty gritty. EMC is fucking hot. You know what's fucking hot? Fucking hot. She's hot. Don't be deceived. She's hot as fucking hell. That's it. I said it. EMC for
All
life
right.
is fucking. She's a 9.5 because the other 5 is reserved for me because I call her a dirty pirate hooker. But she's a 9.5 in hotness. Just saying.
A dirty pirate hooker. Okay. All right. You okay?
Yeah, I'm just, I'm percolating. I'm percolating. Just
It sounds
continue
like
on.
it. It's
Yeah,
time for the percolator.
yeah. I'm digesting. Yeah,
It's a lot. It's a lot. Let's play these
yeah.
messages.
Yeah, knowledge. I know the vagina. I subscribe to that. TMI for you, lovely host. But yeah, I've made the vagina squirt numerous times and different ladies. Know the G spot, study it well, interviewed ladies, asked them questions. They gave me the knowledge, what to do, how to go about it, how to touch it, how many fingers go in there, how many centimeters in with a come here motion up to the belly button, and all that stuff. Feels like the roof of a mouth is a hard surface. Sometimes it gets swollen or engorged because sometimes it builds up fluid. Look up the Skene's gland, Skene. Bam, that's female ejaculation, aka squirt. Yes, the brown is a bit savvy in there. And I will not play a clip unless you want it. Tiny clip of one of my sessions. I played it before. Y'all heard it. If not, let me know. But yeah, yes, yeah, knowledge is good. Particularly of the vagina, where I come from.
All right. Well, for those people who are in need of that information, you have this to play back and take notes because that was like a crash course right there.
That was a
Apparently.
full. That was a full. That was
Tutorial.
Credited.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a mini comment stereo tutorial.
I think I just received 3 credits towards my degree.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, Nitty Gritty and Vinny Blanco. It's Celestial Fairy again. Hey.
Hey.
I am trying to, I've realized one of my triggers. I don't know if it's a trigger, but I get drained from excess stimuli. I'm an empath, so sometimes I get overly tired. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, great podcast. Thanks. Peace, Taya.
Oh,
Thank you, babe.
yeah,
All right,
thank
Bree
you.
Talks. So you want the butt plug? I'm gonna get you a different one. I'm gonna get you a black, matte finish butt plug with a black
No,
diamond in the back
what?
in exchange
Black
for
diamond
the titty. That's right, Nitty Gritty.
for the.
That's right, Vinny. I'm sorry. You're in the middle of the shootout. You hear the police coming? That's right. That's the popo coming. Bree. I've already gifted a butt plug. I've gifted several things to a couple of ladies that I have, that I haven't met and a bunch that I've met. All right, Big Talk. So we're gonna exchange. You and I are gonna take this to the DMs. You get that black matte finish butt plug in exchange for the titty in any capacity that you like to send it to the Brown. Use your imagination, cause we ain't COVID, and I mean that shit. I want to see that shit. I wonder if you got big nipples. You got like eraser, like pencil eraser nipples. Damn, I'll suck them shits. Sota coño, campesina.
Okay.
Damn, you look good.
Ooh, Lamont. Oh, okay. So everybody's in the mood now. I don't understand what's going on.
It's a thing, right? My goodness.
Well, I'm not saying you already know what it is. Slide,
Right?
stop playing with me inside into my DMs. Like that's, I'm just gonna leave it at that because you already know what it is.
Oh, also, Bree Talk, campesinaza. Que vendían y queque en la calle por $1. Sorry, it's a Spanish joke. She'll laugh. She'll get it. After COVID and you get that black butt plug in the titty, are we gonna fuck? You gonna let me hit it? Am I gonna hit it? You gonna let me hit it? From all positions? We gotta do the crane too. Like, I'm serious. I will hit it. I will fly you in. You can stay in my house. I have my own house. Yeah. Every hole too. I'm a dummy, so you gotta satisfy that. And don't forget, Bree, like I told you, I have someone from the King community making me my own flogger. It's going to be black leather, straps, and dark blue with a nice
Flogger.
sort of Game of Thrones handle. Yep.
Okay.
So don't forget, you might get some of that too if you consent to it. Delicious in your ass cheek.
Game of Thrones flogger. Sorry.
Hold on, you guys. I'm returning a message. Oh, there we go. All right, let's get the rest of these messages out. You guys have kept us long after we were supposed to break, but
right.
We appreciate you guys enjoy this conversation at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Damn, Benny, I done mixed up the damn volume with the damn Viagra.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
what you need Viagra for? You 26.
You need some better labels.
I'm dead.
Okay, brown nuts, for your birthday, I will allow you to motorboat me. I'm going to sit on your lap and let you motorboat me. And then I'll stick both my titties in your mouth. But I hope you're ready because these 36 triple Ds could be a lot to handle.
It's whoa.
Wow. Okay.
Look like there's gonna be a whole lot of horny patients running around tonight.
Yep, getting everybody worked up.
A lot of people. Yeah.
So I just came into the room. Hi, how are you guys? Just reading the message or the topic saying, what are your triggers? I think for me, a trigger is somebody knowingly trying to get a ruse out of me or say something to me in hopes that I will get upset about it or to get a certain reaction out of me. Just for the fun of it. I feel like that really triggers me because it's like, especially as you get older, like, what's the point? What's your point in telling me something that you hope to make me upset at the age of 30? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, usually the point is domination, power, control, manipulation.
For sure.
Devaluing. There's tons of them.
There
Mm-hmm.
are. Last
Mm-hmm.
message, you guys. I'm going to break for the evening. It's been
Yes.
fun. You guys, we appreciate you all.
Yeah.
We'll be back in this gig next Monday. Same time,
Mm-hmm.
same place. With a new topic to talk about. So you guys make sure that you guys keep it locked. This will be this will be consistently our show on Mondays. So definitely keep it
Yep.
tuned. And thank you, Chris Gritty, once again for doing the show with me. I really do appreciate you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you too. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Yes. We'll play this and we're out for the evening.
I already told you, Brownus, once this COVID's over and everything's been lifted, of course you gonna hit it and I'm gonna ride you like a motherfucking wild donkey. I'm just saying. So of course, my word is always bond. I'm ready.
Well, that's all
Oh
settled.
my
You know, what
God.
a nice little bit of closure at the end of this. So, bravo.
Yeah. Wow. Damn, guys. Okay. Well, I love you all. Make sure that you guys are taking care of each other and taking care of yourselves. May God before you. May peace be upon you. And thank you so much for hanging out with me on yet another talk. I will see you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with Mr. Worm Million for another episode of fucking not bag check, roll call. I'm sorry. Um, I'm reading this comment that we just got up in here, and it looks like it's a troll. Not gonna pay attention now. But yes, we will talk to y'all later. Until next week, we'll see you once again. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. I'm literally, my brain is shutting down. I appreciate you. I love you greatly. We'll talk soon.
Yep. Aloha, everybody. Bye.
Good night or good
Good night.
afternoon too.
Yeah, sure. All right.